a lot of the things aren't working. Let's start the stream anyway. Hey everyone! Let me press all the buttons. Is the pen still working? The pen's still working. Let's attach this to that. Yeah, promising. Let's change that to that. Promising. YouTube is live. Promising. All right, so plan of action is we'll watch some of the games that I missed from last week, and then we'll do I guess a bit of a wedding recap and our fantasy changes. Maybe I'll do the fantasy changes before the wedding recap, but we'll work it through like that. Hey, femboy. All right, so there's too many games probably to catch up on in terms of like good games, but this is the one everyone's talking about, right? This is the one everyone told me about, the TM versus VP. The banger. So, let's watch that. Should we watch it on my VODs? The JMO coverage. Oh, wait, was he... Maybe he wasn't here for that one. Am I real? Never was. Was this one he messed up? Or maybe actually, I think this was the week before. I think this was, yeah, this was the day of my wedding actually. So Jamie would have been at the wedding. So what have I done? So put some washing out, ate some food, did some prep for an uncoachable episode that we're never gonna record. Sort some stuff out, you know, general admin. Yeah, I think we're going to the official channel. Fucking hell. Ooh. Videos. And then go in. Where was it? Week 3? Week 5? Week 4? Week 4? Week 5? This one. Right at the top. Alright, so I'm probably gonna watch this quite casually, I guess, really. Kinda just want to see the action, so we'll skip through big parts of it. Let's see.
Let's hope both teams bring their A game today and provide us a nice series to round out the EMEA.
There's some squat with a lawnmower out.
A really important place for VP to show they can keep up with the tempo that Twisted Minds is known to love to bring.
Too hot to close the window? Yeah, I'm gonna have to close my window a bit. Once we get to the games, I'll close my window so I'm not super disruptive to the neighbours. But it's warm right now. It's rained a little bit today, but I'm hoping for thunderstorms soon. 30 degrees in Greater Manchester? Fuck. Yeah. I'm hoping for thunderstorms. Where is Fixer going?
Actually caught in a pretty poor position there. Gets picked up by Funny Astro, so Twisted Minds, they just need a quick little engage for the high ground, and you got a man advantage now, 5 versus 4. Let's see if they can close it out.
Yeah, trying to do a little bit too much, but the point gap still being pressured.
Already had rain where I am. Yeah, we need the thunder though to clear the humidity. That's how I understand it to work. Alright, set up actually. Fixer sets that kill up. KSA dies going in.
Forcing the objective constantly the entire time. Gala, even without the second support, was able to stabilize that fight. And despite Psycho finding
Did VP play mainly Ice or mainly Vest while I was away?
I mean, that's a painful loss to take early in the fight, and the fact that they're still able to hold on to the engagement is huge.
Yeah, that's a risk you risk running if you're Twisted.
Both? Really mixed? Okay.
Lucio Kiri with the Diva as well. Virtus Pro, they're happy to put a lot of pressure onto the point with the Orisa and Gala on the Batiste. A lot of healing to keep the tank up. So they buy enough time.
Went out and got an isolated and started raining. Yeah. Sounds like the UK.
It's up to Twisted Minds here for the rotations to come through.
Alright, Kitsune Rush. They've rotated away well, Virtus Pro here.
Yeah, they have cleared out some of the angles.
Bowler out. Lamp's okay. Jwoo getting big value again.
is able to clean that one up with no drone to stabilize. Now
rotate away, but probably still not enough space, really. That Qadsiah rush, well held by Simple until like they could actually connect.
Crucially, that hookah lounge and BP.
Yeah, I've got some Haagen-Dazs in the freezer, so we might crack that out at a certain point.
Yeah, and this is where it gets tricky for Virtus Pro now, because you're playing this Aris, you're playing this BAP. Realistically, I expect them to go inside here and let's try to get some kind of position.
Strawberry cheesecake as well, which is the best ice cream flavor.
Tough to get value from this one.
Big B from Funny Astro, full aggression. They know Fix has died a couple times in this game. He doesn't have the beat up online. Eisnom, though, holding the line with the spin and has the fortify as well. So it's a great kite back from Virtus Pro, punishing that aggressive beat from Twisted Minds. And the
Good pulse. Better bomb.
How does he get that? 2 for 2. Both teams low. Double support though for Shockwave. Has a ton of resources.
Fix has got beat.
He could take a very aggressive peek in. For now, Quartz.
3 kinds of Ben and Jerry's. What a life are you living? A good life. Where are we going, Daniel? Yeah, they can stall us out for ages, Twisted Minds. This is really frustrating for VP.
Take the fight back to Shockwave, but KSA doesn't have that much help to work with. Playing it slow. The point's still being stalled though. Twisted Minds running up.
Jay, we're getting through so much work.
Pro, inevitable.
We're watching some of the old games here, Citrus. We're watching some of the old games.
In the low numbers engagement.
Yeah, it's a crazy post bomb from Jwoo.
Cookie dough, fish food, and marshmallows with s'mores. Shit.
Self-destruct, and that just gives Virtus Pro enough picks to try to level out the 3 versus 3 fight, and they win it out because of that double support, like you said. Now though, 60% against 60%. Virtus Pro double support ultimate, and they're gonna commit both, Jake.
It's a big beat. Funny Astro's low. KSA as well. They have to fall back. They have to try to
No kills. No kills. Disengage is good.
Around the crucial corners, stabilizing in the face of a double support ultimate commitment. It's a very nice trade for Twisted Minds, but Jay will crucially find Simple at the last moment. Now Twisted Minds 80% on the board against them. They know they need to make a play. They need to try to clutch this fight out.
Oh, thank you, Nuclear. Nuclear 47, appreciate it for 5 months. Oh, also thank you to DDPIOP for the 17 months, who, like a client, didn't realize it was a rerun and talked to himself for a bit. When he resubbed earlier. Appreciate it, though, DD, if you ever see this. Alright, disengage is good as well from VP. Oh! How's that one found a kill? BAP is on the come up. He'll see it in the rerun. Yeah, true. Did Simple play much BAP at all? I don't really know. I don't really have like a clear memory of Simple ever playing BAP T, so I'm not sure what the not sure what like the power level should be. Return to your BAP T specialist routes. Yeah, I enjoy playing BAP Ts. Like BAP Ts and Ana are the most satisfying supports to play. Beat push from Daniel. Terra Surge keeps Ice alive. Oh, KSA doesn't get the bomb.
Who's holding on to the position very well, low on cooldowns, doesn't have that fortify, needs to just get those heals from Gala, but the point flip comes in for VP in the chaos.
Not out of it yet. Not out of it yet at all.
Under this VP composition, Psycho with the second.
A Psycho clutch. Not yet, Alpha. I was going to do it a little bit. Probably around 5-ish, I reckon. We'll watch a few games. I'll do my fantasy changes. And then we'll have a little bit of a recap. No, this is still a rerun, San.
Looking fantastic for Twisted Minds and making a big difference right now. Virtus Pro, I think they played the
here, special verticality, Hazard v Diva, but Shockwave on the Cassidy is a pretty bold choice here, especially against the Diva. We'll see if he's going to be able to make that work. Some success now being found for Cassidy in EMEA. But Eisnom's getting a free walk up here, potentially looking to find something. No, forced off the angle.
Yeah, Shockwave naturally going to be a big target here for Twisted Minds, but for now, it's just about contesting this point. Poke through, see if you can find an opportunity here.
Shockwave swinging right side.
See, wall drop right.
Yeah, say a bit of pressure. Shockwave's very split now. Suzu is... it's okay, it's not enough.
He's caught, flanked from all sides. The flip comes
Gala kind of sacrifices him there, doesn't TP to it. Jwoo finds a trade.
So both his scans down, and Virtus Pro relatively the healthier squad with point control. So managing to trade that one out well. Iznom is low though. This is a window now for the heavy repush to come out from Twisted
They need to
Minds.
kill now, Twisted Minds.
Restoring back to that armor threshold. KSA low, running out of steam to continue this push. Simple, taking a bit of counter pressure as well. Now it's VP's turn for the counter punch, looking to swarm back over the point. Both teams going blow for blow, but this clock is just ticking up for VP, and that's a
Good season.
Without Simple, you will not be able to sustain into a long fight. Iznom stays alive, proving his worth to the squad.
Yeah,
You're alright, Fargo. I need to see my fantasy as well.
right there. Iznom took quite a lot of damage there.
I'm actually really keen for that ice cream now. We've talked about ice cream as well, you know.
Just not enough damage to get the frag onto Iznom, and then Virtus Pro, when they recognize the steam, has run out for Twisted Minds to collapse back onto Twisted Minds and secure the fight.
Alright, huge support ult trade, but Virtus Pro are going to be in control of point when it happens.
Missing out on that sound barrier, but for the most part, this is going to be a 10 ultimate fight here, Jake.
Yeah, this is going to be a monster trade, probably for the round.
I think it's kind of early, actually, from Shockers.
Shockwave's relatively a throwaway ultimate, gets the speed boost as well, forces all the position retreated now.
They're pinned back, but I don't find anything. It's a really early. It's a shit Kitsune rush, actually, from Simple. Disaster now for TM. They're behind now in this big ult trade. Kitsune rush back from Gala. Downpour out as well. TM maybe saved it with that kite. Fix is going to match for beat. Pulse bomb misses. Yeah, it's just going to be everyone's alive. KSA has self-destruct. 1 for 1. Haven't given him a flip either.
Probably has KSA's name on it here. He's got to be so cautious. An opportunity finally strikes. Big connection from JWoo. The DMAC comes in, and that should be VP.
Alright, clean one from VP.
Big moments at these like super aggressive Lucio rush. Hitting well with the group, and it seems like Twisted Mind's gonna have to regroup out of this one.
Why am I still bold? Because I went to Greece, not Turkey, for my honeymoon.
Well with the group, and it seems like Twisted Mind's gonna have to regroup out of this one. That's sort of the nature of Cassidy, right? Like, you're gonna die, but if you can take a couple players with you, you can deal the damage before you fall. Could be worth it.
Yeah, and it does seem like Virtus Pro, they're very confident in playing out these.
What's the difference? The price of plastic surgery. But so you'd call it plastic surgery to have your hair done? I guess you would, right? Because it's all non-medical surgery.
Trying to apply pressure onto Twisted Minds. Psycho goes down.
Cosmetic surgery? Yeah, that's a better word for it.
They strike first, and Iznom getting perfectly peeled by the team goes just far enough to take all the aggression on himself. Beautiful cleanse by Simple, right time with the reload, but it's just overwhelming. Those early kills.
Is this live? I'm live, but the game is not live. No, Panda, I'll do it about 5.
Yeah, and also Virtus Pro, they're playing their limits so well, right? Because
We're just catching up on some of the best games. I mean, to be fair, this game is actually probably going to be super long, right? So we might only watch this game, but I'm told this was the best one. Did I have Diet Coke fountain? No.
I mean, space created, right? Deadeye, you're not mad at that. Like, literally running the clock for 10 seconds. It's
Speaking of ice cream, one of the weirdest things I spotted when I was in Copenhagen was an ice creamery specifically calling out their Australian milk. Well, hopefully provided by Hunter's cows. Oh, that Susie's thrown away. Complete trade. Ice is in so much trouble underneath. Yeah, he's just dead.
And yeah, KSA hunted that one down. So Virtus Pro just slightly off sync there. Iznom forced into the lower to grab a Mega and couldn't get the sound barrier. They're still trying to scrap this one out, but maybe Psycho just has a little bit too much purchase on the fight. KSA drops the low ground, grabs the Mega. Psycho cleans up JWoo. The flip comes in for TM.
Yeah, I saw, DD, I saw. I thanked you when I came back, but you'll see it in the next rerun.
That was pretty much the only thing that allowed Twisted Minds to close out that fight. That was the small little difference in favor of Twisted Minds, and now 20%. They got 3 ultimates on the board here. Let's see how they utilize them. Quartz.
I think Sim is meta. Once we get to like the brawl comps, like Orisa, Malga, Ram, I think yeah. I think it's better in the mirror zone than much else.
And the retake is where the Cassidy could be a bit of a liability, right? Like trying to walk up and turn those corners into the choke point. You really are vulnerable to getting jumped on. You really just cannot escape a D.Va turning the corner on you. So Shockwave's gonna have to really.
Alright, Kitsune rush. Advantage for Simple. High Noon comes through. They can just Kitsune rush over this if they want. KSA's going all in on this one. I'm gonna sacrifice his mech for it. What are they up to? Why didn't make it... If they're going to push fair, why didn't make it Suno Rush? Like, either you just disengage it, because D.Va Kiri Lucio is such a good disengage comp, or you just commit the Kitsune Rush and really run over Shockwave. Eat the Suzu and just kill him.
With no D.Va on the other side of the field.
Yeah, and Deadeye forces Twisted Minds to react. And KSA goes aggressive while the rest of the team falls back. So Twisted Minds are split up, and that is enough for Virtus.pro to capitalize on that. Getting a couple of fights to kick off the fight.
Who's for big money in Fantasy this week? I need to figure it out. I need to do my transfers as well. Because there's like, with how the games go, you sort of want a team that narrowly loses upper bracket, then plays lower bracket, right? Which is like a weird combination to go for. Probably make someone like Sugar Free super high value. You want the best player on the team that loses, you know? Like Jay was probably another decent shout actually as well.
And they're going to be going once again towards those overtime fights. It feels like these two teams were meant to match up here.
Yeah, another great valuable beat for Funny Astro.
But also doesn't die a lot. Yeah, that's what Tracer player seems to have to be the play, you know? Maybe a tank.
On either side. This is going to come down to the Tracers. And maybe Icenom if he can make a difference on this Quartz. But this is time for Quartz to step up, yeah, with this Bola.
This is all Quartz. Bola shot, relatively free here. It's basically only the cleanse is the response for it. Quartz has everything to do in this fight. Under a lot of pressure, he would love to get that stick, but he just...
Oh, he's lobbed it. It's Suzu. No, it's got the kill anyway. It's enough.
Despite the cleanse, it's still not enough. And without a hit scan,
that's what I'm saying, Jay.
He's getting healthy once again. Twisted Minds in a great position to close out this round. Pulse Bomb goes wide, though. Eisnon dodges that one well. And Virtus.pro is still healthy. They're still continuing to fight on into this. Quartz doing his best to pump that damage.
Decent slash damage from Ice. Has to get Suzu'd out. There's no mega for him.
Everything to keep him up, but it's just not enough. The pressure overwhelming. Twisted Minds in such an advantage now. Big shots.
Think TM beats VP? Yeah. I would say yes.
KSA with the self-destruct can just full send this one on to Shockwave. No fear for his life.
But I'm hoping it's going to be like another banger like this, you know?
They have that Kitsune Rush on the point, giving them a bit more cooldowns, but Funny Astro finds one in the fight. KSA back in the mech, full suit. Simple, drops the rush.
Beat to seal it.
As well for Funny Astro, and you got a bit more delay left in you, Virtus.pro, but who's going to find the kill?
All right.
Absolute best for some of these circuit reality.
Replaced.
There's a good chance VP wins. You need it.
Going to see because I think it's true line.
It's just live. Well, I'm live, but I'm just watching. I'm watching the game from a few weeks ago because I haven't seen it because I was away. I mean, I think it is like a 50-50 game for TM. The TM VP one. But I'd give TM the edge. Alright, what was the bans here? Anna ban, D.Va ban.
I don't mind it personally. I mean, you're going to get a lot of cart push. Like, who's going to stop the cart?
The scheduled games today, is going to be Qadsiah versus TU, then TM versus VP. Then when we go to North America, it's GK versus SSG, and Nightmare versus Liquid. So actually, quality day in store, I reckon. Is Hunter on in my stream? Yeah, he's my head of advertising.
We were doubting the Ram comp, but like, talk about a dream matchup for Ram. Like, this is a card that is kind of just going to run into you on the payload, and Ram loves nothing more than to get, you know, face tanked on the payload, and it looks like he's going to be able to get exactly that matchup. Virtus.pro maybe going to try to make a move up to the high.
All right, Virtus.pro got control of the high ground now, so KSA is going to be useless in this fight, really. Look at him just running around point. He's doing nothing. Just standing on point. This is why people don't really play Ram on this map. KSA is still on point, though, to his credit.
From Virtus.pro as KSI is going to go down, like you said here. It's more of this style where and they're kind of moving around the map.
Yeah, if TM shot themselves in the foot here with the D.Va ban, they'll be kind of happy with the D.Va mirror.
This is their preferred playstyle going into this series.
The question is Pistola, though, coming in cold off the bench, how is he going to perform in this style? Right? They were playing this before, but they're doing it with Eisnom, and so begs the question, why change? Maybe there's some options Pistola can bring out on the defense or in different spots in the map. KSA struggling so far, though, on Thermatra to tank through. Very, very low. Takes a ton of support just to stay alive. Uses all of his cooldowns. Hainu now for
then this is a rerun fix.
Looks for the flash. It's a very heads-up dodge, though.
I realize it probably is confusing because I'm watching TM versus VP, which is also the game today. Maybe I should change the stream title to be more clear.
Cannot deal with this Ramatra. In that position, Quartz getting every single heal from Simple. Very nice care there from the backline, keeping Quartz alive. Unbelievable that Jwoo gets a kill through all that, but it's still just not enough. The rest of the team did enough. Quartz had time to work his magic.
This kind of becomes twisted minds.
Let's get some Preds going. I'm betting TM this map.
Oh yeah, thank you Zaito, appreciate the 10 months Prime. Nah, I still never got around to watching on Face It.
To get the space required to open things up, get picks, they're going to swap over to the Kiriko here.
It's actually pretty good. Okay.
The Baptiste here, so this leaves
Yeah, I never got round to trying it because didn't try it the first couple of weeks, then just end up on the clean feed and then was away for a bit. What's the quality like in terms of? Because I always feel like on the clean feed, it looks kind of like this, you know, where it looks fine, but it could be crisper.
Everyone else away. Vistol is completely in alone by himself, and of course he's going to go down. Even commits the ultimate, a bit of off sync there. So coming in off the bench is looking a little rough for him right now, and KSA is just absolutely running it down on VP. I mean, full court aggression. Vistol going to go over to the Orisa. But this is final fight, and Quartz come over the top like a ton of bricks with this bola shot.
Yeah, and Twisted Minds are getting a ton of value from their composition. Like we talked about Ramatra, of course, contesting the card. But Juno and Kiriko have been completely uncontested this entire game. Quartz as well with a bola shot here as well.
Is the only bit of... I feel like the Ram comp can only defend the second part. That's why KSA just sacks it on point, right?
Yeah, looks like the full hold is coming in. I mean, Vistol just has no HP left. Pulse Bomb goes wide for Jwoo, and you took us to Dorado. We had hope for some kind of wild strat, and instead, it's Twisted Minds who just read this pick perfectly, and the Diva ban, it felt like it took...
Is he player POVs live? Okay. Does it have, like, VODs as well, of all the player POVs?
Quartz is the chance that Quartz just open things up on you.
So Shockwave now.
It is such an EMEA version of Dorado, isn't it? Look at this. You can? That's pretty sick, actually. Like the old Overwatch League. That's really good, then. Oh, thank you, Kuma.
1 month closer to a new badge I can flex, baby.
Once I played it instantly after game ends. I mean, you guys... Honestly, I feel like I'm getting some kind of sales pitch here, but the pitch is pretty convincing. And it's bloody free for the low, low price of absolutely nothing.
Yeah, again, they're playing the Juno Kiriko or Twisted Minds, and they're getting so much value. They're going to build these ultimates. Gala's going to pop the amplification matrix, but this is Virtus Pro making their final stand.
Shockwave through the air matrix, finds Simple. It's a big connection.
You had a lunch-induced nap and dreamt that KSA was playing Tracer. He could do it. In many ways, Tracer's just like a little diva, you know? Don't forget the drops. I can throw in a floor mat if you confirm right now. This is the old game, Manu. Yeah.
So it's a pretty scary prospect. The Matrix Freya is a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, I think realistically, all these fight wins for the Pro, okay, that's fine. You know, you took a minute of time or whatever. The big fight is going to be when Twisted Minds have built the orbital ring, the Kitsune Rush. That is going to be...
Can I make a 1-minute pitch of your stream for somebody who has no idea? What was it the ChatGPT described my stream as? Sarcastic and chaotic Overwatch coverage. That's it. That's the pitch.
Pulse bomb from Jwoo does find Quartz back though, so Freya's off the board. Now Psycho looking to get him with a pulse bomb of his own. He's here in the back with Simple's got support in this position, just barely Gala though. Dodges that one away.
Yeah.
Deal with it into the back line with Simple's ultimate. Funny Astro's low, has Ray online, but got stunned just a little bit too early. It's a nice.
Are you gonna counter hold this? We're full of hold?
Twisted Minds getting cleaned up. Virtus Pro.
You guys might know. I'll be answering this already. But I don't. Ray advantage now, though. Need this Terra Surge bowler to go huge.
However, Orbital Ray can serve much the same function, so you're not out of the woods yet if you're Virtus Pro.
But still, that was kind of the fight, though. But Funny Astro didn't have the Orbital Ray in time, and there was no point in even using it.
I've already been keeping an eye on Face It Masters, so I don't know about promotion. Vision have to be, like, the obvious favourites. But outside of that, I don't really know. Oh, Terra Surge. Bowler, in with it, is huge.
2 kills.
Oh my god, I got a fuller hold.
You got to reset fast. This one is over. One more chance, and I mean, you got nothing left in the tank. You got to do a dry fight, and there's always a chance with somebody like Quartz on the team. You know, it can make something happen. 40 seconds is a while to work with. But with no ultimates, I would so much rather be this.
Right, Psycho deep behind. KSA has gone Zarya.
I kind of like the Zarya check.
I think Juno Kiri is good. Yeah, I think it's really fine.
If you maybe the time can turn against.
I think versus like some of these Orisa and Ram type stuff, it's actually like Brig is really hard. Quartz has got the aiming pick though. Vessel force a D peak. Jewu needs to hit this pulse bomb. Oh, thank you, Kyle 90872. Wait. Jewu just hit the pulse bomb. Need a little more. Another one, Jewu. Another one. That's not enough. He gets bubbled, packs everything. Oh my god. Getting away with it. Getting away with it.
VP knives right now for
kind of like Brig or something like that, but they're going to play the Juno Kiri.
Yeah, I already know the outcome, but I don't know. I mean, the thing is, I was about to say I don't know the like map by map score, even though I know the outcome. But now that Twisted Minds are 2-0 up, and I know it goes to map 6, I can use the powers of deduction to. I think I know which way these next few maps are gonna go. You know. Yep, and it's going to be a TM sweep, as we all know. Does KSA continue to play the Ram into the Orisa? Because I feel like for a while now there's been a bit of a consensus, and that's a tough matchup.
Good luck, TP out of that one, and Simple just said no, put his foot down.
Yeah, and credit to Twisted Minds, like immediately recognizing the difference in playstyle and Simple pressing the gas pedal.
Oh, not the Cassidy, Johnny. Not here. Not against Kiri Juno.
Yeah, for the relegation promotion, I'd imagine Quick or whatever they're called now, DVG. I would imagine they're actually pretty likely to stay up, and maybe Vision like come up over Frosttails or something like that. Quartz, other pick out of nothing. Vex is just dead now. Yeah, there's no... Honestly, guys. There's no way VP don't just get 3-0'd here.
Tracer, naturally, is the only hero to have over like 57% ult charge. Virtus Pro have done nothing.
Yeah, I feel like very few people would actually play the Ram into the Orisa outside KSA.
Snowball here real quickly.
This comp is sus, Johnny, and they're gonna try to make it work. Shockwave is low, kiting back from the rush. Pistola left dry.
Just about gets the roll in time, Shockers.
Just diligently pushing that one away. Psycho marking the flank. Shockwave being
That's a big trade from Shockwave.
Simple though, it's a trade.
Save the day a little bit here.
Does take one of those supports away, and the spawns are very far away from Twisted.
Oh, Psycho's gonna die as well. Yeah, okay.
The end of the push, but Twisted Minds are probably trying to stick around and get every last meter that they can.
You shown the cameo I got you yet? I'm about to go on my dad's stag do. I want to see the reaction. £9 well spent.
You having a stroke, Jacob? Go on, link it, Jacob. I'll play it now. I'll play it now, Jacob. Avril called it here. I mean, there's no way back, right? The theory dictates it.
I don't really care about Virtus Pro competition. Okay, Deadeye, I'm gonna kite this real quick.
He's just gonna block this. He's gonna soak it. Yeah, I mean, you have to shoot with the spear. And it's a orbital ray now comes out from
Raid push from Fixer. KSA's gonna, you know, hands up. Loves the stand unblocked as KSA.
Ilari ult as well, trying to get something done. KSA taking it up in the corner, but the pulse bomb just overwhelms the HP bar. And Pistola takes down Psycho. So surely, with the big dump of ultimates,
Oh, wait, okay, hold on. Hold on. We're taking a brief detour. So this was a wedding present from Jacob. Wait, do I have to download it? Hold on, let me download it. I've literally downloaded a file called video.mov. Never downloaded a more obvious virus in my life. Wait, will it not let me? That's not what. Play. Will it not play because it's a MOV? How can I do this?
Hey, what is...
Wait, let me... If I minimize that, then I press... Do I just have a... Should I just have one that's like, wait, that? There we go. Okay. There we go. All right, so Jacob got this for me.
Hey, what is up, everyone? I have an important announcement today, okay? Everyone, put down the controllers, shove away your keyboard real quick. Listen up. Everyone, right now, subscribe to the Uncoachable Patreon. Please, there is so much that you can see, so much value to gain. Right now, subscribe to Uncoachable. And go to twitch.tv/CommanderX for the best Overwatch Championship co-streams ever. You're going to have someone that knows how to cast, has been casting since TF2, and being
How does he know so much about me?
Insightful person that you can have on these new championships, okay? So go right now, subscribe to twitch.tv/CommanderX, as well as give a follow, as well as keep watching, and subscribe to the Uncoachable Patreon today.
Great! Now, if that doesn't convince you, I don't know what will. Is that Hunter? No, I mean, well, Jacob keeps telling me he bought it on Patreon, but is there any evidence that it's not actually just Jacob in his fursuit? And that he's pretending he bought it on Cameo. He's pretending it was on Cameo as a cover-up, and actually, it's just him all along. I'm on to you, Jacob. I'm on to you.
But they finally get that fight win.
Yeah, that was a huge dump of ultimates, dropping both your support
I can add furry to the stream tags now as well. You know how much those fursuits cost? What's the average price for a fursuit? What if I'm just, you know, I'm not trying to be like the fanciest guy at the fur convention, but I just want like a, you know, your basic. Born at my wedding? Fuck.
Yeah, they're taking the fight to Virtus Pro, who are very squishy, very vulnerable to some flanks, but Gala wins the fight this time.
3 fridges? A couple of... No way it's a couple of thousand. Several $1,000s? Fuck. Few hundred to a few thousand? Are they all like... Are they all custom made? Or can you just get like off the shelf? You know? Because I feel like... Do you not have to have a custom made one? Like I'm... I don't know why I'm going down this rabbit hole, but we're going down it. If... You have to custom select your jockstrap size. Thanks, Spilo. Finally, it's a person with some inside information. I'm just curious. A curious mind, you know, Spilo. But let's say you go to... I don't actually know the name of any fur conventions. We'll just call it FurCon. But you go to FurCon, right? But you just bought like an off-the-shelf suit. But doesn't that mean it's possible that someone else has the same off-the-shelf fursuit? And then it doesn't really feel like it's you. Your, what do they call it? Fursona? It's not your fursona, so you have to have a custom one, I feel like. Imagine if you came with like the same fursuit as somebody else. That would be embarrassing.
They haven't been fully cleaned off the map, and so they're able to get the refight in a little bit quicker. Don't know if you have a touch here. Psycho just barely makes it in time. It's so close, just a little bit too...
I also... Sorry, Spilo. Yeah, I got distracted. Appreciate it, though, mate. Thank you very much. Are you speaking from experience? No, I'm just asking Juby. Oh, I'm getting flashbanged by the sun. Maybe I should have closed the window when I had this conversation.
Wow, and it looks like a full team wipe there. Gala Massive final blows, and I mean,
Identity theft? Now we're talking.
Pro still have the confidence in the team comp, and looks to be well placed.
Yeah, when Twisted Minds don't have
I've actually missed this entire comeback talking about fursuits.
to get some kind of
It's such a quick comeback as well. There's still 4 minutes left.
point. Virtus Pro, they open things up with his pick composition, and now they got a captive Sun. They're gonna go aggressive, see if they can hit anyone. Not for the Tracer, surely. Well, you had to go for something.
Some shots on Gala's back here. He's just marking the flankers, ready for the possibility of a Tracer. Shield online for Pistola. Bola shot, zones some people off the corner. Funny Astro is able to kill Shockwave with the supports pushed away.
Is Chris tweaking? Nah, I think Chris is chill.
Without the fortify, you're going to be going down very quickly. Drops the shield though, so it's keeping him up for just a moment longer. But the skills running low. Psycho focus firing.
Is the shield perk any good versus Varam? Why has he picked that?
Just trying to trade out something here for Virtus Pro, but I'm not sure Jay was going to be able to get anything done. Twisted Minds sticking with the Ream.
I guess he maybe block for healing a little bit. Like that's how you'd use it more than anything.
A diva here would be like the dream pick for me, but KSA still sticking with the Ram, just wants to hold all that frontline pressure that Orisa would otherwise be putting on other players.
Yeah, and 3 meters is all the difference right now. Twisted Minds got double support ultimate going into this next fight. If Twisted Minds play flawlessly from here on out, they should be able to close out this map. What can Virtus Pro do to really shake things up and try to get a pick?
Oh, big flank jump.
Oh.
Shockwave, big headshot.
Tried it. It's probably worth it though.
Could be a worthwhile trade here. KSA the ultimate.
Wait.
Shockwave, big headshot.
To really shake things up and
Did he rage axe?
Oh, big flank jump.
Fuck's sake, Daniel.
to really shake things up and try to get a pick.
He presses it. What outrageous optimism. To think he can get this off.
Oh, big flank jump here. Shockwave, big headshot. It's gonna cost him his life, but it could be a firing got kited away. Simple, the soul of the team now. Flankers need to find something.
Yeah, I'm starting to see how the comeback happens here.
Immediately stunned. Basola wants to put the pressure back the other way. Getting a little bit of support now from the healers. Both tanks, though, just bashing heads against each other. It seems like it's going to be the flankers who can profit from that kind of a trade. Neither tank really has the wherewithal to shut the other one down. And Psycho, though, fighting a little bit more.
Honestly, it might still be really okay. The economy's worse now, but it's still really okay.
Bot has been stolen incredibly far by Jay Woo, and that's gonna kind of
Yeah, Jamo's got everyone forward spawns as well.
from Twisted Minds despite the fight win.
Still though, Twisted Minds, they invested double support ultimate that fight, so looking at Virtus Pro, they're gonna have the orbital ray coming up here. So Virtus Pro, if they can win this fight, they're actually giving themselves a real good opportunity to snatch this lead. Psycho on the
It's a good kill.
So clean from him and Simple hitting the back flank. Fix it though with the ray, making this possible. Virtus Pro need to find a couple kills before the ray expires. Jaywu with 1, Shockwave with a 2nd. That's exactly what they needed.
Oh, good stick.
With the stick, is it
Got
enough?
Barolvo, he's won afterwards.
Through with the roll, getting the
Ah!
Shockwave dancing with death here. And coming away the better. Psycho forced back, has to try to
Yeah, Alcad versus TU will be for first game.
has a few blinks, so maybe he can slip away. The
Oh, Psycho's juked him here a little bit at least.
attention to himself. Very sick dodging to stay alive.
What are you saying, Mask? What's this 15-point penalty we waffling about on fantasy? What do you mean? In the Discord? I've not been reading it.
Stakes are high here. Virtus Pro down 2-0 in this series. They need to win this map to remain alive in the series. And Jaywu is just coming up clutch on the Tracer, fighting 2 on the Twisted Minds.
Jaywu and Gala just hitting the back flank, and Lari
I'm on the site. I'll have a look after this map. Let me see this last minute.
Minds gotta hold on to this lead. They need to make this next fight happen. But I mean, it's gonna be tenuous. Are they even gonna be able to touch? Yeah, the lead's gonna go against them, and with so little time on the clock, this could be.
Alright, that's the lead.
Grabbing their first map of the series. One last chance for Twisted Minds to respond, but it's gonna be a long journey back to the other side of the map if they can even win here.
So if you can sustain these ultimates coming in from Virtus Pro, Twisted Minds actually do have the ultimate economy. But 40 seconds to go, one fight at a time. You gotta live through this.
Lariel looking
Nothing.
for action. Does I think hit one, but no follow-up to get the explosion on the
They all get out?
Pistola
Okay, they all get out.
falling
It's not the
back.
worst trade.
Already generated. They're not in a huge rush to fight. Pistola looks to have picked his angle here on this corner. Quartz finding that opener to Shockwave is huge, though. The damage really going to be lacking from the Virtus Pro squad without the Cassidy. It's up to maybe Gala to find something. He's fighting on the flank, has that pylon in a strong position, but Psycho's still healthy. Pistola dumping his cooldown. It's just nothing left in the fight. And we're coming down to the overtime here, so it's gonna be that final push from TM. Well, TM has
Can you add me on Instagram? No.
Yeah, they got 4 ultimates. Funny gonna build this orbital ray.
Alright, Tristan might actually have 4 ults here.
That's
Really winnable.
realistically, you only need the 1 fight here, Jake, and you should be able to close out the map.
By the same token, Twisted Minds have to win like 2, so this is still very winnable for them with the ultimate advantage. They are still in control and could potentially close this series out.
Just need kills if you're Virtus Pro. Any trade is a good trade.
Still aggressive from Pistola, not giving up anything for free. Jaywu takes a bit of pressure, forced back up the angle. Twisted Minds still playing this one patiently and slow. They're waiting for their own orbital ray, I think, to open this one.
Yeah, gonna drop the Ray. Annihilation's out.
Gonna strike first, Ray's traded, but KSA
Terra Surge there. Oh, it's got Astro in it.
KSA still healthy, still tanking it up with that ultimate. Pistola backs up to the flank,
That's it.
gets a second kill, and looking to get even more done. The high noon, there's nobody left to respond to it. Shots from the side, burst down KSA from full HP, and Virtus Pro battled that one series. I mean, that was Virtus Pro. Simple. Yeah, which is
What happened to VP? They were such a force. Yeah, I think it's just like I think it's like everyone getting better. I feel like TM is finally delivering on what their roster quality looked like on paper. The simple trade is, or the simple signing is probably a big part of that. The actual game starts at 6 my time, so like an hour and 35 minutes.
putting a lot of pressure on the flank. Shockwave under pressure. Drone already forced out. Scary. Maybe they can recover.
First time you tuned back into Overwatch in a year and a half? That's from YouTube chat. Was that when we were talking about furries? Welcome back!
Dancing well, but Virtus Pro weathered the storm. Now it's their turn to punch back.
Wait, did Jake just drop a Weather to Storm?
Onto Simple, making this one winnable. Ooh, just Simple.
Can't have anything to ourselves.
Of his teeth. Twisted Minds dancing well, but Virtus Pro weathered the storm. Now it's their turn to punch back.
Hello, first time chatter here.
Hey, MO1, 0001.
Okay, that was a scary opening. Twisted Minds even got the cap. Virtus Pro bend, but they do not break, and they snap back with a vengeance. Psycho is just getting whatever last second of stall he possibly can. Jaywu, though, sends him packing.
So again, this is both teams' different play styles on display here. Despite the fact that Virtus Pro, they're not playing the Lucio this time around. They're playing the Brig, you know, slightly
Yes! Honestly, Raw, mate, I promise you, it's not always like this. Probably more than you'd think, but not always.
all the time. For Twisted Minds are playing the Juno and the Kiri here, trying to maneuver around this composition from Virtus Pro.
Yeah, a lot of heals in the Twisted Minds comp, but it's pretty hard for them to turn some corners. And Stola, rather, they're trading in
3 max maps today. Weird how they go 4-0 if max is so bad. When? Go on, scan all my VODs and find one where I said max was bad.
There it is under the Brig. It's enough. BAP is low. No second healer. Quartz would love to find something here. No.
Oh, wait.
Either, though. So Qadsiah will win that.
You hate him. So save a report. No, just best of 5s for NA and EMEA today. Well, for all of it, I think, except for the finals. Yeah, my original take on Max was very much just like, he's just like an unimportant part of Crazy Raccoon. Like the first year, and all of Stage 1 as well, I feel like he's been completely superfluous to any success Crazy Raccoon have had. And this stage, finally, it feels like he's like a more integral part of their success in Stage 2.
The corner there in the cooldown. KSA has served the ult early, but he's not that healthy. Drone is cleared by Gala, or from Gala. Fixa though with the rally, creating enough space and time. They're letting the ultimate take out. Beautiful positioning here from BP. Orbital Ray now ripped from Funny Astro, trying to force this one through the line. Eyes on with the spin, pulls Funny Astro just around the corner. This could be deadly. Not quite enough damage, but it is enough to shut down KSA. Eisnam is low, tanking through so much. Takes off the field as just the supports of the DPS trying to duel this one out.
Excuse you. See, I would not have won those stages if Max didn't do the Ice Tea runs before each game. That's fair. That's real fair, actually.
Clearing up on the angles here with Eisnum dead. Oh my god. Fantastic Tracer performance, but Twisted Minds, they invest so much in trying to kill the Orisa that by the time they do, I mean, Shockwave, Jaywu, they're working these angles, working around Twisted Minds, and they're able to get the picks required.
Max Answer, I thought you loved him. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's... I hate Max because it's not my Max. I only have room in my heart for a single Max. Maybe that's it.
The break continuously pushing into the backline. And you're so worried about this constant flank pressure that JWoo's putting on. It's a nice recall force though by Quartz. A lot of cooldowns expended there. Shockwave looking to get on a
They are not the same person.
space and opportunity. It's a big investment into Shockwave, but so far
There's not only one max in the world. There are multiple maxes.
from Quartz, but it's answered by the high noon. And Shockwave is healthy. Shockwave
How integral was Rush to the success of T1? I'd guess a bit. A little bit would be my guess. How integral is any coach, you know?
Getting no support on the point, and the clock ticks against them.
100%? 50%? These numbers are too high.
Very good right now, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, Twisted Minds, they need to change something up here. This is just clearly not working for them. It's been a dominant performance from Virtus Pro so far. Do you get away from this Juno Kiriko kind of composition from Twisted Minds? You know, they stuck to
Around 10%? I guess, like, if you, like, expand the question as to, like, a broader question of how much difference can a coach make? Don't know, like, 10, 20%? Probably somewhere around there. A lot of it is still really player quality. So then that's sort of 10, 20% is probably... Oh, you want minus 10%? I thought it was an approx. But yeah, like, you sort of use that as your starting point of, like, where is he on that scale? I don't know. You never know with coaches unless you actually work with them. Never work with Rush. But I'd guess probably a little bit towards the lower end.
Letting Twisted Minds take the cap. There's a road here for a run back from Twisted Minds. It's actually kind of achievable when you think about the next couple points. Where this
Would you classify Moon as a good coach because he's just kind of dad modes for fuck and he wins a lot?
perfection against somebody like JWoo.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said. Like, if you read any... what do you call them? Like, any sort of traditional sport book where it talks about or sort of winning mentality or winning cultures or any sort of coaches' autobiographies and stuff like this from traditional sports, there's always a big emphasis on, like, the culture of a team. And I think in many ways, that's, like, the biggest difference a coach can have in a lot of situations. And I think that's where you sort of look at, say, someone like Moon, and it's hard to value because how do you measure those intangibles, right? But compared to, like, let's say, for example, right, if people watch football, you know how now they have set piece coaches, right? I imagine it's a little bit easier to statistically measure the success of a set piece coach because you can see how many of your set pieces successfully created a good opportunity or not. Like, how often does it seem to be working? Is it better than when they worked before they had it or before they started working for you, etc. You know, there's some sort of a little bit more measurable. But how do you measure the intangibles of, like, a winning mentality? Really hard, you know. Because the reality is you need both as well, right? You need both.
But not enough HP. Quartz and Psycho working together, the dynamic duo alongside Simple, keeping everyone supported. And yeah, you can stall for a few more seconds for JWoo. But you need to do more than that. Psycho would love to hunt down that Tracer kill. JWoo dances away, but Eisnom not getting the support, running out of cooldowns. Is there any more touches in the overtime? There is not. Virtus Pro gonna back off, try to do it on some of the other points, but it's a good role for Twisted Minds. This is exactly the
like, if you want to use, like, if you want to use London as the example, I think, you know, as much as, like, we went from, like, bottom of the league to 6th, which is, like, a big improvement considering our budget didn't change. Maybe it technically went up by, like, a player's salary worth, but, you know, it didn't change dramatically. A lot of the talent was there. Like, Haddy and Sparker were still good players. But the culture, as someone who was there, like, Season 4 London compared to Season 5, the culture, the attitude, like, 1000% different, you know? So different.
1 HP from that flank fight, but he's still alive. And so Twisted Minds still in control here. They're going to try and get that first cap. JWoo from the lower, trying to get into early high noon pop, but he's not really able to get channeling on the back line. And TM still grabbed the first cap. That's not a good fight opener for VP. They're under time pressure now. This is not where you want to be. Gala's out on his lonesome and Simple.
Yeah, Sparker's a menace. In whenever I watch the Marvel Rivals casts, I don't watch that much, but whenever I watch bits and Virtus Pro are playing, which is Sparker's team, they're always glazing the shit out of Sparker because he just plays, like, the carry role. But he's so good at it. Happy for him.
simple. Finding the pick onto Shockwave there as well. So you get plenty of value from that Kitsune Rush. And again, Virtus Pro, you have double support ultimate here at least. So that rally is going to help you make...
When more players get paid well, I think if they're on the big orgs, they get, like, decent salary. Probably, like, maybe Overwatch adjacent.
So it's still a bit tricky for Virtus Pro to get maximum value with this five-man, with these ultimates. Twisted Minds have an opportunity to...
Yeah, plus if you win a lot, obviously, the, just the prize money will get you over the line.
Here's KSA from behind. Still has that ultimate ticking. Is closed the range on Iznam, who's dropping low. Has the ultimate, but
yeah, I think the thing about Sparker as a hit scan player is he was always very good at the more, like, a lot of hit scan players where they play like Sim or something kind of just end up being a little bit like brain dead. Whereas I think Sparker, like, maybe another good example was when they play Sombra or something. I feel like Sparker was always one of the better, like, at still having the mechanics to compete with the best, but also being able to think. And I feel like that's a pretty rare quality in a lot of hit scan players. And I feel like, if anything, the nature of Marvel Rivals, I've not really played Marvel Rivals, but it's the impression I get from the outside is it's more about that type of stuff in terms of decision making than just raw mechanics.
the fights are all taking place on the flanks here. It's all about this Tracer battle. Can he come in and take down that backline? And Funny Astro Simple saves him for now. Pulse bomb goes from Psycho. No connection. Rally, high noon, big ult up, but somehow it's Jaywu who goes down in the process. Sure, you get the flip on the VP, but you're down one. This is a crucial fight to win. Psycho recalls from the headshot. Iznam so low, has the spin, getting a lot of heals pumped into him, but Twisted Minds, they smell blood in the water, trying to chase that for more. Here's Shockwave coming from behind, getting it done himself.
Yeah, I think Spark's like in-game intelligence, I think it's not that he makes like these crazy calls or these super smart decisions or something like that. But Spark's ability to function in a team and a unit is like really second to none. Like, as much as, you know, we talk about Jamie as the thinker and stuff, and like Haddy as an in-game leader and the quality of his calls, I think what is also required when you have something like that is you need people who are really good at playing, I'm going to say system players, but playing the system, following the call, and listening. You ask, like, I reckon, if you ask all the coaches in the world, or like in Overwatch, one of the most frustrating things you have to deal with is a player with no ears. A player who can't listen to anything.
Can he do it again? The massive ultimate disadvantage is so against them in this fight. They could also go for the retake. Here's the rush coming in right on top of Shockwave. He's running out of cooldowns. Desperation Hainu tries to tank through everything. Still gets the shot on the Psycho. He's dropping low though. KSA rips the ult.
Well, they've dominated this one actually, haven't they, VP?
For kills on the flank, and somehow Shockwave has played his way out of this. He's gonna win. Taking this to a game 5. The hero in there.
I can't see my ears. Fuck. Is Tracer one of those thinking heroes? No. Kind of, but a very different type of thinking. Like, I'm trying to think of the right terminology for it. But basically, what you need for Tracer to be like, and this probably applies to lots of heroes like Genji and Venture and stuff as well, really a lot of flex DPS heroes, is you need like really high game awareness, right? Because the best Tracers, I mean, obviously the best Tracers are one-clip you as well, but the most frustrating Tracers to play against, the best ones, are the ones you just can't fucking kill, you know? You just can't kill them no matter what. And I think there's like something... The football equivalent of it is, you know, whenever... I might lose some people here, but for those who do follow football, you know when they always talk about like certain players, like maybe Paul Scholes or Iniesta, or these midfield players, and they would say something like, oh, he wouldn't even need to look where you are, but he just had like this sort of view of where everyone's on the pitch. He just almost like, he just knew, you know? He's like awareness of where people are and where the space is. Was just like second to none. I feel like that's the sort of intelligence you want on Tracer.
It's totally delivered between two of the best teams in the region, going head to head and showing us, you know, fairly different play styles here. You know, there are some small different...
And I think that's a really hard skill to teach, you know? You either kind of just have it or you don't have it. Like, I think, like, there was one video I watched. I was really excited to watch it, because ask Chrissy how long... Because obviously Rodri won the Ballon d'Or, right? But I've been the biggest Rodri fan for so long. A real day oneer. I was saying to Chris, like years before he won it, just like, this guy's like the best player in the world. And then I saw a video on, like, Man City's YouTube. And it was Rodri explaining his thinking for his role, you know, like a Rodri holding midfielder tips video. Like, how does he do it? How does he do it, you know? And I was so excited to watch it. I was like, I think this guy is so class at his position. I want to know, like, what's he thinking about? What's, like, the thought process, you know? How does he approach it? And I watch it, and he just, I don't know, he can't verbalize it at all, you know? It's just very much sort of like, oh, I do this, and then it works, you know? And then, like, if I see danger, I go and deal with this. It's like, well, of course, if you see danger, you deal with this, but that's, like, the bit before that, and I was like, he can't explain it properly, you know, like, but he's really smart, he just doesn't know how to verbalize it exactly, you know? And I think that's probably true, you know, like, if you ever watch Qadsiah play Tracer, like, when I watch Qadsiah play Tracer or I watch his POV or something, I'm always like, he just always finds space. There's always space on his map, and it's the same is true for all the good Tracer players. He just sees and contextualizes and predicts intuitively. Yeah, like, his brain is processing the information, not in, like, a thought pattern way, as in he's saying, like, oh, there's a bit of space here, and blah, 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 blah. He's just sort of, like, he's obviously taking in the information, and he just instinctively knows where's good, right? And you'll see the same with footballers, right? Where their first touch is always good, right? They'll always touch into space. And I'm sure if you ask someone like Messi or Xavi or whatever, like, you ask them, like, oh, we see you take the touch here, and you instinctively knew you could actually roll out. And you ask Messi, well, why did you do that? And the answer's always the same. Well, because that's where the space was, right? But not everyone can see the space the same. Like, the space is there for everyone, but not everyone can see it or know it's there, or, you know, or know it's there quickly enough.
Shockwave on the tour, I just now realized. Twisted Minds. Let's see if they can manage to stabilize this one, but Virtus Pro in full control. Pistola sending it here into the front line. A very aggressive dive in from Simple. Gets absolutely smoked on the—
When you're there on pitch level, yeah, it's the sort of thing, like, the same in Overwatch, right? If I go into the VOD, and I just do the bird's eye view, and I can see everything, and I've got the little icons turned on, it's so easy for me to go, well, we just need to do this, we just need to do that, right? You just, obviously the space is here, guys, we need to move into the space, right? But it's so much harder. Like, if you've ever, the difference between watching football where you have that nice sort of panoramic view, how many times have you watched football, or the same if you watch NFL or anything, and you're just screaming at the TV for your team of, like, he's fucking open, hit him, play him in, hit him. It's obvious, right? It's so fucking obvious. But of course it's obvious to you with a bird's eye view. If you've ever played football or any of these sports, it's it feels very different when the ball is at your feet and there's players running at you, and you've got to make the same decision quickly under pressure, and you don't have the same luxury of view. So I feel like something like Tracer is like Flex DPS especially. It's true for everything, but it's I think, or maybe Tracer and Genji and those type of heroes are the ones that benefit from it the most.
They're controlling all of these different angles and able to deal with Twisted Minds, so they're gonna push through. So like the high ground push. It's a bit tough, but
Do footballers communicate mid-game? Yeah, a lot. Especially, originally it used to be probably defensive units more than anything else. But now now I think modern football, the whole team is the defensive unit, you know? So there's a lot of communication about, like, somebody will call to trigger the press, as in, like, I'm going to go now. There'll be lots of... so now will trigger everyone else to make the same moves. What you get in football, they normally call it, like, patterns of pressing or patterns of play, which is basically, if one person makes this aggressive move to, like, pressure the opponent with a ball, then everyone else is going to also take a step forward and close it, you know? Like, good movement. You will also get a lot of it from a defensive point of view in terms of who's responsible for what player. They call it, like, passing on. So maybe you're marking a player, but then he starts to drift outside your area of play. So then you would pass him on to the next player as well, but you're shouting at that player. You're shouting at your left back. Nah, you take over marking him because I don't want to be dragged out of position. So it's like a lot of sort of, like, probably, like, quite simple on the surface context, but something that's hard to do right 100% of the time.
a vintage, one that every player is so comfortable on Shockwave's flexing on you on the Torb.
Do you think timeouts like they work in CS would be a good addition to OWCS? I like the concept of being able to do that. Oh, thank you, Flurin, for the 11 months. I like the concept of being able to do it, but I think in CS, you get lots of rounds, right? And there only, what was it? I forget the length. It was like 2 minutes odd per round or something, right? So there's lots of regular breaks where taking the extra 30-second timeout doesn't feel that disruptive. Because like in Overwatch, when would you be allowed to pause? Because if you do just between rounds, it's not too great, you know? But you couldn't pause mid-map, right? And that feels like really disruptive. Because there's not like a clear pause timing, you know? So while I like it conceptually, I think it's hard to, I can't think of a way to implement it in a way that I think will work. So space is cathedrals? Yeah. The word space is subjective. Yeah. So like, the answer for football is you always want to find the space, right? Same as Tracer, you always want to be able to find the space, the gaps in the other team, you know, to exploit. But that's the rule. But where is the space? Where is the gap? And that's going to be different in every single situation. So that's where it's down to a lot of the player to identify that.
This is looking scary.
Yeah, it was just too overwhelming for Virtus Pro at that point. Twisted Minds, they had all the ultimates required. And just getting something as simple as
Commander X or Sir Alex? Sir Alex.
getting these initial picks, that was enough for Twisted Minds to secure the first.
Do you think Guardiola has solved football? Because everyone copied him for a while, but I don't watch as much football as I used to, but I feel like teams don't play like that anymore, you know? I feel like now, like, if you look at all the best teams, like PSG, Liverpool, Barcelona, I think it's a much more aggressive game now. Or, like, all the best teams play this super aggressive game. There's, like, a few maybe dissenters, like Inter Milan probably don't play that style at all. But I think the majority of the best teams all have that.
Way too tall of an order. Fixa with the drone just to secure the Stol's position. Shockwave playing off of it as well. And it's time to clean up the map here.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. He solved the old meta, but now people are like, yeah, it just changes in waves, you know?
Love to see maybe a faster tempo.
Why counterattacks are so effective? Yeah.
Here it go. It's a little bit of an awkward spot. Maybe the Zen is the best they can do.
Gonna stick on the Zen here. I feel like that's so scary though.
And Gala is
I think one of the coolest ones I saw in terms of like football communication was, if people know who Sean Dyche are, if you follow the Premier League, you probably heard of Sean Dyche. But it was from when he was at Burnley, and he talks about, he's doing like a tactics explanation video. And what he talks about, let me just pause this for a second. He talks about the idea of, he wants his team to know when to, like, you know, if a ball's in one corner, but they're going to play like a crossfield pass. Wait, let me draw it on screen. So, you know, let's say their right back has the ball and he's going to do a crossfield pass over here, right? Obviously, if you are Sean Dyche's team, which I'll use yellow for here, right? What you actually want is you want your team sort of pressing aggressively this way, right? But as soon as the crossfield ball comes out, your entire team has to shift across the field, right? And this is obviously something, it's like, you have to do it quickly, and the slower you are at it, the more space pink team will have, right? So, Sean Dyche, because I just like football. So Sean Dyche talked about it, said what he wants his players to look for in the press is quarterbacking. Look for when the opponent is quarterbacking. And what quarterbacking means is, if you know in NFL, where you see the quarterback and he pulls the arm, right? And you know it's going to be, he's going for the 60-yard pass, right? You know the big one's coming. The same thing happens in football. When you are going for a crossfield ball, you have to sort of like, there's a bit more run up, right? You need to, this isn't the right term, but like wind your leg up more, right? So, if you spot the player winding his leg up, if you're one of these players who's responsible for getting across the other side of the field, don't wait until he kicks the ball. You see him fucking quarterbacking, go half a second early, so when that crossfield ball comes through over here, you're a yard or two closer. And that's essentially, you know, it's like a code word, right? You know?
it's kind of like only Tracer. So
The Burnley team screaming, quarterback, or whatever it is, and everyone's just gaining like half a yard on where the ball's going to be, anticipating what happens next.
Gets value from the Zenyatta, gets value from the Discord Lord. Maybe you can build this Transcendence in time. 45 seconds to go, and they've done nothing on this second point, Jake.
Yeah, they've got to get something over the
How the fuck does any of this apply to Overwatch? It's just, thank you, Ayua. It's the same sort of thing we would coach on London, you know? We would look for patterns of play. You know, if we are playing Paris, and they always do a certain push, right? They always do a certain push, and maybe we scrim them, and it's causing us a bunch of problems. So, then what we would look for is, we'd look at the problem, like, okay, when they do this sort of push, here's what our ideal response should be, right? So they're going to do a 3-2 split, here's what our response should be. But what we need to do is we need to make sure we can identify when they're doing that split, you know? So it would just be like, oh, as soon as we see a Lucio Genji on the right-hand side, we're just going to tempo in main or something. That's like a super basic version of it. You know, but you as a coach, I think these are the sort of things you can have impact on in terms of, can we identify key things that they're doing and just give our players like a clear response. So we can sort of script it as much as we can, but just give our players clear responses. And I just thought, I remember seeing that one and thinking, yeah, that's like a really interesting, like, what should we call it? That's an example. That's an example that we would do in Overwatch all the time.
Here's the OC from Shockwave. Wants to force some kind of powerful support ult out. Simple. Feels the pressure. Doesn't want to get one tapped here.
Didn't one of the ex-Wolf players shout their keyword for leave and he scored because of it, I think? Maybe. That would be funny if it happens. Hey, Gandalf. How was Korea today? The second game was, like, entertaining, but it wasn't that great a day, really, honestly, in terms of, like, actual Overwatch. Flowchart, yeah, when X happens, do Y. And you build that up over a period of time, right? The reason our Rhine sim was so good by the end of it... Wait, I want to watch that fight again. The reason our Rhine sim was so good at the end of it is because we just built up such a bank of, like, options, or such a bank, or like such a big playbook, I guess you could call it, in terms of different things we could do in different situations. It meant we could really solve a lot of situations, or solve a lot of problems, or throw teams a lot of different things to deal with. We'd just have a bigger playbook, essentially. Alright, Vessler Flux, double support out for TM. Shockwave and J clutch opportunities. Vessler's walking onto the high ground. Rock doesn't find the kill. Overclock out. TMD peeking all of it. Transcendence 4, Simple doesn't want to risk it. Bit wasted. Now Astro has to drop the Ray. Flux comes out. Looking for it. Doesn't find anything. Course on the high ground. Simple's traded. The cap though, the cap. Vessler's forcing point. Not Vessler, sorry, KSA's forcing point. Wait. Slide in from Shockers. Quartz has to hit the shot. They slide back out. Tracer pressure now. Shockwave's found a kill. Psycho's killed Gala. Psycho's killed 2 on point. Jay was there. 1 HP. 3 HP. Oh. It was Simple on the Flux, but he dodged the line of sight. Okay. Have I done my fantasy? No. Fuck. I'm going to run out of time, actually, because I want to do the wedding stories as well. Or the wedding, like, I don't know. Like, just a recap of what happened. KSA forcing point in many such cases. If it works, it works. What's the top EMEA? So I've not seen all of the games, but my instinct right now would be go something like TM, then Alcad, then VP. This is the 6 mapper, yeah. Pulse bomb's a miss. Whoa. How is he just able to do that? Yeah. Trade it out, though. Quartz getting full pocket. Oh, Quartz! Recall's been forced. Alright, good fight from TM.
He's got to be such a hero here. Speed ring, Psycho. I mean, this is a scary spot to be on Widow. It's a good point for
honestly, you guys would have enjoyed the London comms when we were just calling all of our bullshit. Like, let's do El Clasico, then next fight we're doing an Atlanta TP. The next fight we're doing a Jam TP. Those were the good old days. Oh, they're going to do it in overtime again? I mean, I sort of know they are, but they're going to do it again.
believe it, Johnny, but the way this gets silent listening, the pure drama, and yet TM.
Come wall? Yeah, come wall. Come zone. It was come zone first, and then come wall. Need to do the elevator wall as well.
Let's clear one side. Yeah.
What was... I'm trying to think of one of the other ones.
So,
I know Chris would always talk about the idea of very much, like if you want like a set play or something like that, it's actually better if it's funnier. The funnier it is, the more likely the players are to remember it. Haven't been hearing a bit. Any plans on going back into coaching? Not really, no. I don't think there's any opportunities that really make me want to, either from like a team perspective or a financial perspective. But plus, I'm enjoying the streaming stuff too much. World Cup? Maybe for World Cup. Something like, maybe the World Cup would be the exception, yeah.
I can go in 5. Ram on me, no form. I'm going back main. We need to go harder, guys. We need to kill.
Wait, if TU, Liquid, and SSG win, I win 11.5k today. I've got terrible news for you.
I can go. 3, 2, 1.
Double speed into like Zen Juno. It's just so hard for TM. Look at that. That's just everywhere, right? Kills for backline, kills for tank. Matrix is for shot onto Shockwave.
You can hear the desperation in Vistola's voice. I've never seen him show emotion.
I mean, the play for the World Cup is Chrissy gets the head coach position, and I get the, like, the content position, and then we get 2 for the price of 1.
This Zen, they have to stop Simple from getting that value. Vistola, he's got to be the man to do it alongside Jwoo and a double speed amp. I mean, this is a scary spot to be a Zen. Let's be honest. Virtus Pro, it's a great opening cap, but there's a lot of map left.
Recall force here. Onto Psycho. Can't afford to get picked.
Any leaks on the Scrimbox and EMEA? No, I don't know, really. I'm out of the loop here.
Now, this is what
Out of the loop very much, so I'm going to just take stuff as it comes.
how can we work around the Ramatra to find picks in the backline?
Some damage from Jwoo, put a little bit of pressure on. Orbital Ray
Does UK have a tank? Yeah! Tread!
and there's just not enough heals from the Ray. It's not keeping
Oh, misses. Wait, how is the self-destruct kill Qadsiah?
And Virtus Pro, that's a huge pick now with
Virtus Pro are storming this.
the whole cart. The rest
Yeah,
of the
honestly, guys, Virtus Pro are winning this map.
It's a big commitment from Ultimates, though. Of Ultimates, rather, from Virtus Pro. You've got that sound barrier up next. A lot of Ultimates to respond to. I think Shockwave needs to be the hero right here. And Simple is going to go...
Can't you see the TU scrims? I mean, I could if I wanted to, but I've been away for a few weeks, so, you know. If there's one thing I'm not doing on the fucking beach in Crete, it's watching TU scrims. What was this? I'm running out of time, so I'm going to do it, like, kind of quick.
And no Matt, how can you force the aggression without the suit? Shockwave looks for the counter kill, but Vistola gets punished by Psycho, just cuts him to pieces. And that's a full reset.
But then what happens to Stylosa? Stylosa was a class GM. I feel like Stylosa gets stick, but I was on the 2019 World Cup team when Stylosa was GM. And fuck. He got us a free 1-week boot camp in London. He got us custom-made jerseys. That's on my wall right now because it looks so sick. He was so good, man.
They can't punish the backline as much unless they really commit with the sound barrier.
An aggressive beat is so terrifying to contemplate.
Yeah, I mean, Stylosa, as a general manager, is the example of, like... I think a lot of general managers end up basically just doing a manager's job. Whereas, like, Stylosa, he's not a nitty-gritty guy, okay? But big picture, Stylosa is perfect. This Zen Juno is so hard, I feel like, for TM.
Maybe with the overclock, here it comes. Out of the high ground, he's in a strong position. Has potential free fire zone, but Virtus Pro, they're nowhere to be found. They're hiding away.
Oh, Quartz! Good shutdown. He nearly... There was a moment there where I thought Quartz was going to, like, kill both of them or something.
Now, Zen, Ramatra, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Funny after the Lucio, but just no shot to make it to point.
What's Tasmo like as a GM? Yeah, complete package, really. Like, Tasmo was just, like, really good with the players, organised, good relationships with Blizzard, which obviously always like nice to have when you're, because Blizzard have a much more direct involvement in the Overwatch World Cup than they do in some of their other tournaments. But yeah, Tasmo was really class. Like, 1, really good company. 2, actually really good at his job in terms of organisation, looking after us. You know, we had, like, Ramon was ill, like, really sick one night, and Tasmo, like, looked after him. So just, top GM, really, Tasmo. Where are people betting for esports? I think, like, Paddy Power do it, Bet365 do it, lots of the major ones, at least the UK ones. I mean, now they can maybe actually get away with Zen Juno on this point. Alright, overclock from Shockers. Transcendence forced. Astro in trouble! Pulse. He's just blocking it though. Oh, Simple's found a trade. It's a good kill. Alright. Unironically, I might not watch for... Was the last map actually interesting here? Or was it just like... Like, was it actually an interesting watch, or was it just, like, what happened was the interesting part, or the result was the interesting part? Yeah. Okay, we'll watch the end of this then I'll do my fantasy changes, and then I'll do the wedding. The games today are going to start with, in about an hour. No way, Daniel! No way! Simple gets 2. Astro gets 2. Fuck, Simple and Astro kill 4 to save the point. Car doesn't quite have Ray yet. Needs a kill. Oh! Go on, Simple. Alright, one more fight. Ray versus Ray, but Simple has Nano.
Too hard to clear from that position. Lucio slips away. And Virtus Pro, it's down to this. One final fight. Shockwave, 72 to the overclock. He needs that tool. It's so critical here. But the Nano, the Ray, it's devastating for Twisted Mind. A lot of options. Nano immediately on the KSA. He goes straight to the backline, putting a lot.
Has he gotten anything out of this? He's just punching a ram. Ray comes back out. Astro gets a later Ray. KSA needs to get into the Ray. He's in the Ray. Simple's dead. Pulse bomb. Oh. Oh, the touch is so fucked. Yeah, they can't even get it. Overtime spawns. Do you mean this last fight just now, or do you mean like the sleep one? Oh wait, hold on. I'm skipping through it. Now, let me just watch it on this Gandalf, because I'm a little bit pressed for time to get through like my fantasy changes and stuff. Oh. Okay. Okay. It's just a nothing burger of an attack. The Virtus Pro shooting gallery.
It's also the possibility of a draw in this map, so even if you fail the attack,
they should be able to TP to the point here.
Twisted Minds. They should be able to get a TP. I love the high ground TP.
Hey, Cat. Why is everyone napping today? Ah, king of a side fight. Need to finish these kills, though. Vix has got another one. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Because it's so warm? Yeah, probably. Hangover? That's fair, actually. Alright.
KSA is taking this
Bit of a beam going.
He doesn't have form. Jwoo's getting a little
Drops for
close.
TP. Nade's there. Nade's huge.
So is it enough? Four-player nade.
Oh, Simple's killed one as well.
He got the job done. Jwoo down. Virtus Pro still healthy on the other four, though. Still a chance for them to fight this out. And Simple slipped away from that one. Gonna break the TP. Healing.
Where are Virtus Pro going now? They're going to get on point. They need a tick. Lamp Force onto Gala. Oh, he's so cooked.
Gala down, out of resources. Twisted Minds are healthy. The defensive nade now from
No
Simple.
trades or anything either.
Last gasp. They've got to get something.
Oh, Vesta's going to die late. Yeah, it's fucked. Oh, wait. Maybe it's not.
It's though both ways. Hold on. Jwoo though, surely too much to ask. The 3v1 on the point, an impossible test.
Oh, he's got no recall either.
In this world.
He's got it.
Johnny, we are
Shockwave can swing, but fuck.
maybe the rule set has changed.
Oh, all right. Let me grab a drink and then let's lock in for fantasy, okay?
With the exception of maps that have already
Oh. All right. Okay. I don't know how my team's done either, so I need to catch up on that as well. So give me a sec. I'll be right back. Okay. All right. Let's figure this out then, shall we? No, because I want to do the wedding stories as well, so we'll do fantasy as quickly as I can. Okay. Oh. Not right now. Okay. So, I actually need to see how... I've not checked the leaderboard since I went away. So, I just had this team for, like, the last 2 or so weeks. Where am I? Oh, I've done well! I've done well! Is it possible I'm better at fantasy when I don't actually make changes, when I just leave it up to the fates? All right, 173rd. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. All right, but what are the changes now then? I think I keep Rocket and Infected. I think Kellex goes. You're below Kajor? Fuck. Yeah, but the one thing I have over Kajor, and I'll always have this, is I don't have to be Kajor. So big picture, I'm winning. But I also need a support player. Thanks, Chrissy. Just in time. All right, support 23. What's the play here? Is it Gala? Wait, Simple had a monster. Oh, that's his total point. Sorry. Is it Gala? Well, UV or Gala both seem reasonable. Free transfers if I need to as well. Gala Landon is your backline. I mean, I can do more changes if I want. But can I actually get anyone worth, like, Because I feel like Psycho, Rocket, and Infected, like, except for Landon, all 5 of my players have a good chance of playing a double, right? The problem is I've only got 2 in the bank from this, so I can't go up to, like, a Sugar Free or a Jwoo, right? Because if anything, I think I'd gamble against... I think I'm going to gamble against... I would gamble against Nightmare. But what DPS would I even get in instead? You know? 0, maybe? Wait, has 0 played all the maps in these last few weeks? He has? If I'm gambling again... Yeah, you're right. Oh, fuck. I need to look at the lower bracket games as well, right? I guess, in reality, all these lower bracket games... Do we just... I kind of feel like whoever comes from the upper bracket in North America is just going to smash the lower bracket, right? Yeah, like Nightmare play Extinction. Jwoo and Ziad. I feel like the Alcad players aren't like a huge return though, because I think they might just smash today. Yes, exactly, smash. Saves me having to transfer him next week. True. We've got plenty of transfers next week as well. Honestly, I might just do this. Just like Gala and 0 in. I mean, players I would like would be Jwoo or Sugar Free. But who instead of? Maybe instead of Psycho. Get rid of Psycho. Put in Jwoo. But then, oh, fuck, my budget is cooked. And it's like, because even Kellen doesn't save me enough, right? Let me reset it. Reset. Is Checkmate played a lot of Sim lately? If I do that, I mean, yeah, I could be convinced of a infected out, but then is it just Ziad or Kellen? Wait, is this it? Because I think SSG probably lose to GK, but hopefully it's like at least competitive, and then they smash. Yeah. And then this feels like this feels like it gives, with the exception of Landon, I've got potentially 4 double game weeks here. I'm like, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pick the team that's going to lose the upper bracket, but only slightly. I think simple instead of Gala. No, I think I'll stick Gala. Okay, I think it might just be this, you know. I haven't asked for any free transfers, right? Yeah, free players have changed. Oh, thank you, CJ.
Just finished watching your cast of Korea from earlier. Thanks, X.
Appreciate it. Good stat farming roster? That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, fuck it. I'm going to commit to it, and then we can talk about the wedding, eh? Submit. Submit's a final, and we'll use up your transfers as well as in curve. Wait. Oh, is this what you were talking about earlier, Mask? Wait. I have free... Yeah, I have free transfers. Okay, it's just... Yeah, I didn't use any bonus transfers, right? Yeah, it's just an FYI. Okay, let me put it all back then. Let me put it all back. All right, I put it all back right, okay? Okay. Okay. Locked it. Locked in. Yeah, you're right. There is obviously a risk they go negative in the first game, but what I'm essentially hoping is, like, for all of these players, it won't happen for Landon, I don't think, but for these players, they lose the first game, and maybe they still go just positive, like a 5 or a 10 or something. But then when they play their next game, they put up like a big like 20, 30 score or something. So like on the balance of the 2 games, they actually outscore the other ones. Okay, that's for logic at least. Obviously, some of these results are really hard to predict as well, you know? Like this VPTM game, this Nightmare Team Liquid game. Yeah, I think it's like... So I'm trying to lean into the double game weeks as much as possible with... But obviously, it's very difficult to actually predict who's going to definitely have the double game weeks. Should we use all our transfers? You don't have to if you don't want, Professor, but it's there if you want it. They will get refreshed for next week as well, so it's not like this is your roster for all the playoffs as well. So there's going to be another chance to change. Free transfers this week, as in the number 3, not as in the cost. All right. Where am I going? Let me do that. Let me do that. Let me do that. Let me do that. Okay. Should be free next week. I don't know if Toby's here right now. Toby's the real one in charge. He'll be able to confirm. But it should be free both weeks from my understanding. Free next week as well? Alright, cool. Perfect then, yeah. Working how I think it works then. Alright. Do you want a wedding recap then? Should I go big screen for this? Maybe I'll just go big screen for this because I'm just talking. So, for those who don't know, I imagine a lot of you do know by this point, but for those who don't know, a couple of photos. Yeah, we've only been shared a few photos here. Officially, we're going to get a full pack of like 500, 700 photos. When the photographer's finished editing all of them, but yeah. So, the plan for the wedding is, it's like a 3-day affair, essentially. Where we're going to get, the Saturday itself is going to be the wedding proper. And that's going to be, you know, the ceremony, the food, the speeches, all of that. Blah, 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 blah. Then, yeah, I don't actually, we did get one taken with Coach Bars, we don't have it. But we've got the property, so we rent, I can probably actually show you the, property, right? That's like, Lower Damgate Farm. Obviously, I didn't want to leak it beforehand, but now it's happened. I can show you, okay? So, this is where I got married, Lower Damgate Farm. It's an animal sanctuary as well as a wedding venue. And the setup is, there's basically a big barn. Let me use pink instead. But there's basically a big barn, which is the wedding venue, which looks really pretty. I maybe have some of that. Oh, wait, I didn't, hold on. Good morning, everyone. Wait. Oh, wait, I pressed for it. Hold on. Hold on. Back. Fuck off. I'm getting attacked by the past. It's because it auto-plays when I swap back to the scene. Morning, everyone. All right. So basically, there's a big old barn, which is the wedding venue. And then there's a series of cottages, which normally are like separate Airbnbs. But we basically rented the entire thing. And the point of this is so we can have a load of people stay on site, which means everyone can get really fucking drunk if they want. It also means, because if anyone has got married or has been to a wedding, the bride and groom are invariably super busy and don't actually get to spend that much time with everyone. So we were really keen to do a weekend thing so we could spend, have actual quality time with our friends. Because when else are you going to get all of your family, all of your friends in the same place at the same time for a big old party? So that was the idea, and that's what we did. Let me see if there's just some photos of it. This is not my wedding. Thank you, Sarah Lee.
Will be their weddings at the EMEA playoff.
I'm just looking at photos, wedding and events. Maybe not. I just wanted like a photo of a barn or something. These are other people's weddings. Do I have any? I'm trying to see if I have some just of like the actual barn itself. Maybe not. We only got a few photos back. But you can kind of see the idea, right? Like ours wasn't exactly like this, but you can see it's like a nice little space. Anyway. So, plan for the wedding initially was we leave on the Friday, right? So, step 1 on Friday. Yeah, so location-wise, it's in the Peak District, which you probably know, you heard of if you're in the UK, you might have been yourself. Or, if you've not been, it's basically like a really rural area, lots of nice walks, lots of super scenic things. So, yeah, a really class area, and also really remote. Like, it was so quiet there. Like, barely get to, barely see anybody else. So it was really just us, and obviously, like, the people who own the venue. So, Friday, step 1. We wake up, we've done all the packing, we're ready to go, okay? So, Hunter arrived at my house on Thursday, stayed for night, because we were going to drive him down. Bless him as well. So much respect for Hunter for flying literally across the world for a weekend just to come to my wedding. What a guy. So, Friday morning, the plan is we're going to go to the venue, start setting up, because we've got a stylist, photographer, that type of stuff, but it's a little bit DIY in terms of we have to do some of the setup ourselves and that. And then we're going to go to Costco to get food for everyone for the weekend. So we have breakfast for all the days, and we're going to do a barbecue on Sunday and everything. So we're going to do a big Costco. But first, the most important thing. What's the most important thing before the wedding, before we leave Nottingham? I need to go get my hair cut, don't I? Obviously. So me and Unta wander down to the Turkish barbers at 9 a.m. for when they open. This isn't a joke. You guys are saying it's a joke. This isn't a joke. It's actually, there's a punchline in there somewhere. Now, we had to reschedule and reorganize for Friday to work around me getting a haircut. So we go and have a Turkish barbers. I get the full service. You know, they wax my cheeks. They wax between my eyebrows. They wax my nostrils. They trim me up. They shape my beard. They give me the hot towel. They do the fire, they set my ears on fire, you know, like flat fire on my ears to make sure, you know, I'm as clean as possible. Wax my cheeks, yeah, like waxed here. Knees, cheeks, grow up. How much did they charge you for that? Well, it was £40 for the full service, which feels expensive, but I don't get my hair cut that often, you know, so I'm happy to pay. I actually, you know what as well? Respect to my barber, because I asked him if he could open a little bit early so we could, like, try and be ahead on schedule. He said yes, so he opens up, like, sort of 10 minutes early or so, and then I say at the end, I'm going to pay him, I say, oh, I'm happy to give you extra, because I appreciate, you know, you getting it all done, you've done a great job, really happy with it, etc., etc. I offer him a bit of extra money. He says no, same price for everyone. So top bloke that. He even, I say he taught me, I already knew it, but he knew it was my wedding, so he was telling me, he gave me like an inshallah and everything like that as well, wishing me good luck. So actually top bloke that guy. So obviously I'm not going to go get my haircut there every week because I don't really have to, but but I think maybe for like LANs or like special events, I'm actually going to use them because they were class. So then, got my haircut. Head back to my house, get my final bits of stuff with Max. My wife's friends come and pick us up, and then we are all rendezvousing at Costco. My wife left early in that morning to take a load of stuff, like all the stuff we had with us. Like we had some lamps, we had some rugs, we had like a load of like food and gift bags for all the guests, you know. So we take all of that. She takes all of that down. And then she's going to rendezvous at Costco. So we've all got empty cars, right? So it's... my wife comes with her car. My dad comes with his car. And then, obviously, there's the car that me and Max are in with my wife's friends. So we all rendezvous at Costco. We head into Costco. Me, Max, and the wife's friends who are there. We're there a little bit early. So we treat ourselves to a £1.50 hot dog and drink. £1.50 hot dog and drink. For those who don't know, it was my first time in Costco, so I didn't know until then. But at Costco, they just sell hot dogs for £1.50 all the time. The price is never going to raise, just £1.50. They lose money on it every time. But what a place. Good hot dog as well. So we have our hot dogs. We are all geared up, you know? And then everyone arrives at Costco, right? So we group up, we head into Costco, we grab a whole load of trolleys because we are buying a lot of food and a lot of beer. Because we have to, on site, this place can sleep up to 40 people. So we need food and alcohol for 40 people for, well, Friday night. Not really too much Saturday because obviously we're going to have, it's all going to be like the actual wedding ceremony and stuff. But we do need it for all the Sunday as well. So we grab a load of fucking trolleys. A load of trolleys. And we are heading around Costco. If you've never been to Costco, it's just like, it's just a big old fucking warehouse. Everything comes in like supersized portions. They do loads of like catering things, you know, just like big pasta salads or potato salads or like plates of meats and sausages or trays rather. So we got all the stuff. We are going round. We're having an absolute blast. We have 4 trolleys in play. 4 trolleys in play for all the stuff. And honestly, this was really sweet for me because this is the first time, because one of the nicest things about the wedding for me, because I know everyone there, right? Because it's my family, my wife's friends, my friends, you know, so I know everyone. But obviously, not all my different friendship groups know each other. My family haven't met all of my friends, you know, stuff like this. You know, not all of my wife's friends have met all of my friends, stuff like this. But then I get to see everyone interacting. So there's just all these, like, this is like the start when I really realised there's going to be so many of these nice moments of a weekend where it's just like Unter talking to my little sister, and I just see him just having a laugh while they're waiting for me and my wife to figure out how many bloody sausages we need to make 3 days worth of breakfast. And I was like, this is class, actually. These are all my favourite people, and they're all coming together, and not just they're all coming together, they're actually all getting on like a house on fire, you know? So that was one of the most enjoyable bits of a weekend. So, load up. Load up from Costco, right? We are at the tills. We have 4 trolleys worth. So we're getting a load of cardboard boxes to pack everything up, etc., etc. We get everything in. The receipt is like, it's like comically long. The receipt is the height of me or something. A comically long receipt for all of this. And yeah, we load it all up. We pay. Honestly, it cost less than we thought it did. So four and a bit trolleys worth, and that's like 4 full trolleys plus the underneath full as well. All the alcohol, all the food, 3 days. And it was like, I don't know exactly, but it was in the region of £1,200, like £1,200 plus a bit. So actually, I thought, bargain, absolute bargain. Yeah, like we were all doing guesses because obviously it took the poor till, what's the person? The poor teller at the till, fucking ages, right, to scan all this stuff. God bless her. So we were all doing predictions. Cashier, thank you. Yeah, we were all doing predictions on how much it was, and none of us guessed that low. So we were thrilled about it. So then we head back, we load up the cars, and we head back to the venue. We had a bit of car trouble, not the actual car itself, but just the like the dashboard wouldn't come on because it was all electronics. So it was like the dashboard wouldn't come on, so no sat nav, no speedometer, stuff like that. So that was a bit of a hassle, but we were able to reset it. And then me, my wife, and Max, a car full of booze, we all head back to the venue. Then we rendezvous at the venue, and our incredible stylist had already been there from the morning, set everything up. So all of our tables were decorated, all the chairs were out, they were all laid out perfectly with placemats and people's names and everything in this. But someone else had been there since the morning as well, since 10:30 a.m. Someone who wasn't initially invited to the wedding, actually, but was available last minute to come and help us out. Uncoachable's very own Alpho turned up last minute to to fix all the audio issues for us. He turned up and he was there from 10:30. He set up all the speakers. He set up the lights. He made sure it was all connected. He produced the wedding. So Alpho turns up, sorts it all out for us. So we rendezvous at the venue. The stylist has nailed her job. Everything looks beautiful. The Alpho has nailed his job. Everything is ready to go. It's all working. Beautiful, right? Ready to go. So then we do all that. We're at the venue. We're setting up. A couple of my wife's friends have very kindly agreed to like cook a bunch of the food to put on like a big buffet that night. Perfect. So then we're doing the final setups. We're doing some sound checks. And by this point, for those of you who don't know, you might have seen him. Mod Coleman is also my best man. So at this point, Coleman's pretty keen that why aren't we drinking yet, essentially, you know? So the beers start coming. So we have a few drinks. Primary best man duty, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, look, anyone who was at that wedding will tell you how good a bloke Coleman is. But yeah, like Alpho knows. But there is nobody like him. Nobody like him. He really is the best. Not just my best man, he is the best man. And I will die on that hill. So we start having the drinks and more people are arriving, right? Because some people are coming after work. My friend Sonics, who is a TF2 player, people might remember from Twisted Minds. He was coming from Manchester, and Poco was flying into Manchester Airport. So my mate Sonics picks up Poco, and him and his wife drive Poco down and meet us. So everyone's arriving at different times. Jamie's arrived by this point as well. You know, so food's cooking, drinks are on the go. Poco arrives now, and for full context, all of my TF2 mates are probably in the, like, what you would call it, the, like, classic, classic blokes type category. So what happens when a bunch of British blokes meet a French bloke who sounds like Poco does? You know, the very stereotypical French accent. All the fucking GCSE French comes out, doesn't it? All the GCSE French comes out. So they're all doing the accent, and Poco is like, what's the word? Duck in water as well, you know? Just absolutely rolls with it, is like leaning into it as well. Like, there's a bit, Coleman is Welsh, so there's a bit where Coleman was saying, because we were quite a few beers deep at this point, where Coleman's like, oh, sorry, Poco, I know, like, especially when I drink, I start talking really fast, and it can be, it probably, like, becomes quite hard to understand if it's not, like, your first language. And Poco just responds with, oh, I've not understood a single thing you've said so far. So it was actually fucking just class the whole way. All got on. Max actually missed this bit, because Max went to take a nap before work, because his scrim time while he's in the UK is quite late at night. So Max goes to bed to have a little nap before work, so he misses all of this. And then Max sleeps through the entire night out, sleeps through all of work, and just wakes up the next day. So, cheers, Max. Yeah, I saw Max's bed as well. Yeah, so poor Max, right? He's trying to sleep off because he's obviously, like, he has travelled from Australia, right? So it's a long way. And do you know what my mate, so for context, so like, Max's bed is here, and then there's a big room here, right? Where my mate Phil was staying on like a sofa bed. But also in this room is a pool table. So what does Phil decide to do at 3 a.m? Well, it's probably time to play pool, right? So poor sleepy Max, poor sleepy Max trying to recover from his jet lag. But mate, Phil's got a pool, as far as Phil's concerned, there's a pool table in his room. So it'd be rude not to play, wouldn't it? So he plays a bit of pool. I don't think Max woke up, to be fair. All right. So, yep, Friday. Honestly, Friday's a class night. When in the pool table room, you know it, Chrissy. Honestly, it was a shame you didn't get to play pool, Chris. I reckon you would have smoked him because the standard wasn't that high, but we'll get onto that later. So then, all right, we go to bed. We all try and keep it reasonable because the most dangerous thing, if you've ever got your friends together for like a weekend or something, what's the most likely thing that happens on the first day? Everyone is too excited and gets way too drunk. And then the Saturday is like a rough start, right? But we can't get too drunk. Well, especially me, I can't get too drunk. But I need to be in a position. Need to be in a position to be on form for the wedding, okay? So, fast forward to Saturday. My body hates me. So my body wakes me up at 5 a.m. Can't get back to sleep. There's too much light in the room, so I'm just like, okay, I'll just lie here still, because my wife-to-be at this point is still asleep, and I don't want to wake her up. So, I just lie there, trying to get rest, even if I can't get sleep. So, then eventually, wife wakes up, we get up about 7, we get dressed, and we go around to just make sure, because obviously, me and my wife are going to go in different places to get ready, and I'm not going to see her until the ceremony, but we walk round. And as we walk around the corner, and bear in mind this is 7 a.m, and while a lot of people are staying on site, Poco and Jamie, they were staying at an Airbnb just like a 10-minute walk down the road, so not too bad at all, right? But when we leave at 7 a.m, we walk round to the other cottages, from our cottage to like the main cottage where everyone was going to meet for breakfast and stuff. And who's waiting outside at 7 a.m? Jamie and Poco. And they just look. I look at them. You guys have heard this bit? I'll do the short version then, because I don't actually know exactly what happened. But I walk past them and I go, "You alright, guys? What are you doing here already?" And all Jamie says is, "Oh, we definitely haven't been here all night," which obviously means these fucking idiots have been here all night. So, long story short, they couldn't get into their Airbnb and ended up just having to come back and sleep on the sofas at this place. So poor Poco and Jamie have had a right old night of it. You know, so eventually at about like 10 a.m, they're able to go get back into their place, get a couple of hours sleep, then come back for the ceremony. There's probably more detail that Jamie's already gone through, but yeah, up and down the hill, exactly. So, okay. Then we're basically just in a weird limbo stage because my wife and her bridesmaids and my mum, they're all getting their hair and their makeup done. And this process starts at 7 a.m. and it goes all the way through to the ceremony. Meanwhile, I've got not a lot to do, so I'm kind of just in limbo for a bit. So I'm waiting around, making sure stuff is ready. We were originally going to get married outside. And obviously getting married outside would have been really nice, but it was on and off raining. So we kept having this, do we get married outside and risk for rain? Do we play it safe and get married inside? But what if it's sunny at the time of the ceremony, all this? So we're having this whole big inside-outside debate. Everyone's like, I'm looking at the weather. I've never thought about the weather so much in my entire fucking life. Just looking at the sky, waiting for inspiration, checking 4 or 5 different weather apps, trying to figure it out. Yeah, how British? Exactly. So it's getting like close to the crunch time. I go and get ready. I can maybe show you a photo of me ready. Because there was, let's see, let me find, have I got me ready? Where's just me? Here we go. Wait, can I drop, if I drag and drop this here, will it work? Yeah, there we go. The sun was very much in my eyes. It's not my best smile, but all suited and booted. Suited and booted, flowers in, kitted up, ready to go. Turkish trim in full effect. So we were ready to go. So I get fully dressed, I get fully ready. We're still having the inside-outside call. Because look at this, right? This looks I'm outside at this point, right? It looks sunny enough. Looks sunny enough that you get married outside, right? There was this nice photo as well. Where is it? This was all my what do you call it? The like the photographer took like a nice photo of all my stuff. You know, just before I got ready properly. So we've got the tie, the ring, the shoes, everything like that.
Congrats, CX mate.
Thank you, Voidios. Appreciate it very much. So yeah, clean, doesn't it? The cuffs, yep. So we had a whole thing with the cuffs, right? Because originally I wasn't gonna have cufflinks, and I'm talking to my groomsmen and my best man, and I'm saying, hey guys, should we get like cufflink initials, right? And the initials for all of my friends are like, there's obviously me, which is XH, Coleman, CC, there's an MA, and there's a TK, right? And we were like, everything like that, right? But then, Coleman said yes. My mate Matt, who you've maybe seen in chat, Matt CV, he says yes. And then my groomsman Toby says, he says, because somebody makes the joke, oh, you should get your gamer initials instead. So for Matt, that's CV, Matt CV, and for me, obviously, it's CX. And then Toby says, I will only agree to the cufflinks if you guys all use your gamer aliases. And I was like, well, it's fucking happening then, isn't it? So, yeah, really beautifully framed picture. And I'm glad, actually, after he said, because a bit of me at first, like, oh, here we go. But actually afterwards, yeah, right cool, right? Right cool, for sure. Okay, so then we're back. Inside, outside. Inside, outside. Where the fuck are we going to get married? And I'm play it safe pilled at this point, right? I'm play it safe pilled in terms of let's just get married inside. It will look really nice in there, you know. It's not set up for inside yet. Not set up for inside yet, because basically there's 2 options. We have the barn, which could be the ceremony area, and then we can do a bit of rearranging and it can become the dining area. Or we get married outside, and this is just always set up for dining. So at the time, it was set up for dining. And then we are back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I walk up to the registry office. I've maybe got... Do you want to see a shot of me and the groomsmen? I'm sure they won't mind. So this is me, my best man, and my 2 groomsmen. Matching suits, of course. Looking the part. Looking the part. So, yeah, really happy with how the suits came together. Really happy that we got matching ones. So little hair in this photo. I know, right? He did say I should have. He said he did consider shaving his head at one point, just because he was like, if everyone else is doing it. Yeah, well, my mate Toby, he's actually like the exact same. Like his suit is the exact same size as my suit. So he said multiple times when we were in like the reception area before the wedding, waiting to get ready, people would come up to my mate Toby and be like, "Oh, are you nervous?" And he'd be like, "No. Why would I be nervous?" Because they just... two bold people in green suits, you know? Stunt double. So, alright, we're doing this whole on... The staff kept asking him stuff? Yeah. No, different Toby, different Toby. So, back and forth on this whole inside, outside, where are we gonna get married thing, right? And then at 1 p.m, so the ceremony's at 1:30, bear in mind, and then at 1 p.m, it starts pissing it down. The heaviest rain we've had all day. Fuck. So I call, well, my fiance, soon to be wife, hopefully, because they've not had any of their bridesmaids photos done or anything because it's been raining, everything like this. So we're like, fuck. Because you didn't bury a sausage? Yeah, we didn't bury a sausage, so it's our own fault. No, we didn't get a cool car or anything. Because we were all on site for the whole thing, there was nowhere to drive to or from, you know? So it just seemed like an unnecessary cost. So, starts pissing it down at 1. Call the soon-to-be wife. And I'm like, have you seen the weather? Should we go inside? And she's a bit stressed at this point because she's, you know, oh, fuck. Everyone's going to have to sit outside. And, you know... We're going to have to sit outside, everyone's going to have a brolly, it's going to be cold and rainy, and everyone's going to be out there for like an hour or something total, but be freezing by the end of it, right? But then our stylist, our wonderful stylist, honestly, if anyone needs recommendations for a stylist, or she also does wedding planning, or for a photographer, the two we had, unbelievably good. Unbelievably top quality. Would recommend them to anyone. They were so good, considering everything. So, our stylist, no drama. Don't worry, we will get the room changed around. This dining area will be a ceremony area before you know it. So everyone chips in, my uncles, my family, all the blokes moving tables and chairs. Move the tables, move the chairs. It's now a ceremony area. Okay, ready. Thank you, Ziad. Appreciate the 4 months. Good luck tonight, mate. So ready for the ceremony. She was banter as well. Yeah, she was class. She was a huge fan of everyone as well. She said everyone was so helpful in terms of getting everything moved. So, we're ready. We do it. I'm standing at the front. We're standing at the front, and then it's time, you know? So the way it works is the bridesmaids are going to come in first, and there's going to be a procession with my wife at the end of it, right? So the first bridesmaid walks down. And it's one of her friends, and she is like, you know when someone is trying not to cry? Not because they're upset, but, you know, because they're happy. So, trying to keep it together. No, didn't do a rehearsal. We rehearsed, like, some of the music changes and stuff, but no rehearsal. So, we're kind of just going through it. So, I'm trying to keep it together as well, because I was like, don't get all teary-eyed at the start of the ceremony. Hold it together. You have to do the vows, and you have to do all of this, you know, like, you know, hold it together. But then I see her trying not to cry, and we're, like, both smiling at each other, both trying to, like, keep it together. And it's probably, we haven't got photos of that bit yet, but I imagine when we see the photos, it's just going to be the two of us sort of doing this awkward grimace smile together, just like, everything's happy. So, she comes down, the bridesmaids comes down, the music's playing, DJ Alpha has got the music playing, so he's got the song going. My wife comes down the aisle, beautiful. And then we do the whole ceremony, we have a reading from Sarah's sort of surrogate mother, and from my mother. The readings are beautiful. Then we wrote our own vows, which was, like, I'm glad we did it, but it's also, it was like a nerve-wracking bit, right? Because I wanted to get it right. I wanted it to get special. I wanted it to be special. I wanted it to be heartfelt. But it's also, not only is it public speaking, but it's also public speaking where I'm being, like, probably way more emotionally honest than I have ever been in front of, like, my friends and family. You know? But I'm glad I did them. They went down really well. My wife liked them. I liked hers. We're probably going to get them, like, printed out and framed or something like this. So that was really nice. And then we do that. We do all like for sort of legal bits, you know, like for repeat after me type stuff. Beautiful. And then we go do the signing, right? And when you sign officially, like sign the wedding certificate thing, you also have to have a witness come up. So it was my wife's sister, my sister. They come up, they do it. And my little sister, oh, God bless her. What is she? She's 9 years younger than me. So it's very much like a big brother, little sister relationship. And she is bawling her eyes out. And I was fine the entire wedding. But as soon as I see my little sister crying, then I'm tearing up as well. So we're both just there signing the piece of paper, tearing up. But it was such a special moment. She was so happy. She was buzzing. Yeah, no prenup, no need. So yeah, that was a beautiful moment. We don't have the photos from that bit yet, but I'm super excited for it. And then we do the little walkout. All nice, right? And then we go out to have our photos taken, like group photos and stuff. I can show you a photo of the wedding, or like one of the photos we had afterwards. Obviously, it was raining on and off at the time, so hence the umbrellas in this one. But I think it's a good photo. I think we look for part. Look for part? I think it's nice. And honestly, as much as like I was a bit skeptical with the umbrellas of like, do we want like umbrellas in all the photos? The umbrellas are actually a super nice touch, you know? I think it's really good actually. So the umbrellas, really perfect. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, there was a bit of me of like, oh, do we want umbrellas and all of this? But yeah, actually, they really made the photo. And because this is the outside area, so original plan was we were going to get married in this area, you know, with this as the backdrop the entire time. Whoa! Thank you, Chicken Waffles! Thank you very much! 20 gifted? Oh, that's class. That's absolutely class. Thank you very much. What timing as well. Very much appreciated, Chicken Waffles. Yeah, the brollies are really good, so I'm excited for a lot of them. But yeah, cheers, Chicken Waffles. Appreciate it a lot. What a nice way to top off a wedding recap. So, all right. So then we're doing more pictures and stuff. Thank you. Appreciate it. Love the dress? Yeah, I mean, it looked really good. Like, I think, yeah, it was super heavy. So I think by the end of the day, she was kind of done with it. But it looked the part. It was beautiful. She looked beautiful. Everything went together really nicely. Really liked it. And then we got another photo of, like, more groomsmen. When we got a nice photo, we got, like, a walking and laughing. I thought this photo is actually just fucking class as well, you know? Like, this is really happy. Obviously, loads of the couple photos came out nice, but this one of the groomsmen, actually, like, yeah, this is it, you know? Honestly, our photographer was so good. So good. Yeah, I mean, I'll do, like, another one when we have more of the photos, I think. No, the uncoachable, we haven't got those ones yet. We've just got a few of them, really. So we've not got too many. Okay. So I'll go quick because I know EMEA is starting soon as well. So we'll do the rest of it. So then we do some photos when we go in for dinner. Dinner is a charcuterie board. So like cheese, crackers, grapes, sausage rolls, stuff like that. They made us a cheesecake and some brownies for dessert as well, so it's a full buffet. But before dinner starts, we do our speeches. Okay? So we do our speeches. So Matt introduces us, and to go first is my dad. Now, obviously, Alpho and maybe a couple of you have met my dad. But if you haven't met my dad, you'll know he's a very quiet and reserved person, you know? Top guy, super hard worker, dedicated family man, etc. Good dad, but very quiet and reserved. And he does love his Doctor Who. But he has to do a speech. And the speech is on a little stage up the front, microphone talking to a crowd, you know. So really not his wheelhouse, not his comfort zone. And then I can't do it justice because I can't remember the wording. But he comes out with just like, he introduces himself as my father. And then he drops like a fucking joke. And it's like such a good zinger, and it just sets up perfectly. And I was completely blindsided. I was expecting my dad to do like a short, nice speech, and he just drops an absolute fucking banger to kick us off. And then he does then the whole bit, you know, a couple of stories from my childhood and stuff like this, like really classy. And then it is time for the bridesmaid speech. So one of my wife's bridesmaids comes up and she does a speech. And what she has written, and again, I can't do it justice, but she has written a poem with all the other bridesmaids. And she comes on stage, she's a bit nervous. So she asks the crowd, she asks the audience if they can give her a cheer, a bit of energy to help her get through it. The audience responds, they give her a cheer, and then she does this beautiful poem. She's actually sent us a copy of it, like printed out on nice paper. We're going to hang it in our house because it was so beautiful. Personal, emotional, lovely, right? Beautiful. Really, yeah, like honestly, such a good poem, and my words won't do it justice. And then we move on to the best man. The best man speech. Now, in the build-up, Coleman has been repeatedly threatening to me that he's going to do a 45-minute speech. And then on the day before as well, he says, well, I've got a good speech and a bad speech, you know? Like a nice speech, a not so nice speech. We'll see which way I go on the day. So then he gets up, he does his speech. He does a lot of normal bits. He talks about how when we first met back in TF2, yeah, he kept saying 45 minutes in a song, yeah. So, not quite 45 minutes. But he does the whole bit about how, when me and Coleman first met, we didn't get on. Like, he didn't think I was that, he thought I was a bit of an arsehole. Didn't get on at all. But, like maybe a year or so later, or maybe a couple of lands later, we got on. And then Coleman, I didn't even realise this, right, but Coleman says what he thinks is the difference between the first time he met me and the second time he met me, and the difference, I guess, in my personality, my demeanour, how I was. First time, single. Second time, after meeting my future wife. So he does this whole bit of backstory, you know, a few funny stories, niceties as well. And then there is this bit where he does the speech, right? He's got a piece of paper that he's reading off. And then he folds up the paper and he throws it away. But the speech is not over. The speech is just beginning. Because this is where we then get off the script. Off the script. I mean, you were there, Max, right? Was it not an aura moment where Coleman throws away the piece of paper? And it's like, now it's going to begin. So he throws away the paper, and then he does this whole big recounting of all the lands we've been to. All the lands we've been to, all the places we've been, you know, like Lithuania, Philadelphia, LA, all these times I've gone away, or I've quit my job, or cut down my hours to go and do a gaming thing. And he points out that every single point, what happens is my wife says that's okay, that's fine, supports me in all of the decisions. And then he does all these bits and these funny land stories and all of this as we go through a sort of recounting of my whole history. And then he ends the whole thing with very much, if you have a mate, like he is my mate, if you have a mate, what more could you ask for your mate than their wife to support him living his dream and doing everything he wants to do? What better gift could a wife give to your mate? You know, you want your mate to live their dreams, be as happy as they can be. And it was a really sweet ending to a speech. Really sweet ending. So he tied it all together. Honestly, top quality. I've said already, Max, I imagine you weren't here for that bit, but like, Coleman is actually the best man. There was no song at the end, though. No song at the end. All right. And then I realize we're going to start soon, so I'll try and like keep it relatively brief on this. So then I have to do my speech. I do my speech. Honestly, my speech was the worst. Like it was fine. I just thanked a lot of people. Tried to do a couple of jokes, you know, just little like throwaway laughs, and then we started it, you know. But the groom speech isn't normally that hard. I just have to thank everyone, and I think I remember to thank everyone. So then we have dinner. I'm on a table with Max, Chris's wife, obviously my wife, and a couple of her other friends as well. We all get on really well, I think. all of a sudden, Chris is talking to one of her bridesmaids about FPL because they both play FPL. Never met before this point, and I was like, it just, you know, everyone's friends. They just don't know it yet. So then we have, I did not use the word weather your storm, no. I did tell everyone that our table will be going to the buffet first out of respect. So then we have dinner. We all have a buffet. Food is great. All looking good. Then we go outside for some more photos. And I don't know if I have... Do I have a photo of this? Shout out Vintage Cheddar. Chrissy found his one. Can I show this one? I don't know. I don't think my wife is watching. I'm not sure. I think she won't mind. I think it's a nice photo. But what do you do if you get married on an animal sanctuary that has a load of alpacas and other animals? You get a photo with the animals, right? A photo with the animals. I am watching. Can I show the alpaca photo? I think it's a nice one, but it's your call. She's debating. She's debating. Which alpaca photo? The one with us walking away from them. I've put her under pressure here as well. This is a twisted arm situation. Imagine if she got an ad. No ad playing. Hear about Backbone and Hunter kissing? I wasn't there for that bit. She's checking the logs. Anyway, so we go... I can paint you a picture either way. So we go into the field for a photo with the alpacas, right? And they give us these little trays. Thank you for the anonymous gift to Mrs. Commander X. So in the field with the alpacas, we've got these little trays to feed them with, right? So we are walking through feeding the alpacas, and the alpacas are following us. Though one of the alpacas then looks at my wife. And then what does this alpaca do? Considering all we're doing for these alpacas is just giving them food for free, what does this alpaca do? Gets a mouthful of food, chews it for a couple of seconds, spits everywhere. There's one single speck on me, on my shoulder, and my wife has been plastered in alpaca spit. So, that's what alpacas do. Dickheads, right? Absolute dickheads. So, wedding dress? Yeah, I mean, like, face, there were bits in the hair. It was, yeah. Bad. It was hilarious as well, right? And the good thing about something bad like that happening on your wedding day is you're in such a good mood, it's all okay. Oh, wait, I've been told this alpaca photo is okay. This one. Okay. This is us in the alpacas. I think this is maybe pre-spit? I think this is pre-spit. Thank you, Remy, for the tier 1. So this was pre-spit here. Of course they do, Max. But Max, we're getting to that part of the story. Because then what happens, we have an ice cream van. Ice cream van is there. Beautiful. And then the rest of the evening, me and her are going to go off and do some more like couple photos, some nice photos for all of that. And then it's basically, we're going to do a first dance, drinking, food. There's a pizza van of the evening. The pizza was delicious. So all we have to do now, go up for some photos. The photos were like, by the end of it, I was pretty done with the photos. Thank you, Mr. Mango Juice. I'll tie this one up quickly because I know we're getting towards the end. Because I missed a lot of the fun. Like, I missed Chris's wife making best friends with, like, Sarah's family and just being attached at the hip to her. I missed Jamie kissing Max. I missed all of that. And that all happened while I was away. So we have to wait for the candid photos. It was post-spit? Oh, we cleaned you up by then. So then, yeah, we go off for some photos. Everyone's having ice cream. There's like some few games for the kids and stuff to play with to keep themselves entertained. And then all we have to do, come back, one last task, one last sort of ceremonial thing for first dance. So, my groomsmen, Matt and Alpho, who's in charge of the audio, they have been practicing this transition. Because the plan is, we're going to do our first dance, then Matt is going to invite everyone onto the dance floor, and we're going to go into ABBA, and it's going to be a big party, everyone's going to join. All we have to do is the first dance, right? First dance music was Wake Me by the Bleachers, a song that's been quite near and dear to our hearts. We've seen them do it live, one of our favourite songs. Thank you, Jack, for the 12 months. Hold on, I'm going to try and give a clean feed up while we do this as well. So yeah, so Wake Me into ABBA. Lay Your Love. So, there we go. Hold on, let me... Okay. So, we come in for the first dance, and it's nice and slow. But we had something else planned as well. Because what my wife was really keen on is she wanted to get dipped, right? She wanted to get dipped, you know, like leant over, kissed, right? No problem. We did a couple of practices, stuff like that, you know, it was okay. I thought you meant the French bloke, not the French bloke. Don't tell me you dropped your wife. So, the dance is going fine. Her dress is a bit long, so it's a little bit awkward. You know, have to keep, like, sort of kicking the dress out of the way a bit, so because we're, like, spinning around and the dress sort of curling us up. But then it gets to, like, the key moment in the song where it sort of, it drops, I guess, for lack of a better word. So then I dip my wife. Beautiful. And honestly, the photos I've seen of it, what a great look. What a great photo. The problem is, I've had a couple of drinks by this point. I've been standing a lot. And I feel I've lost my balance. You know what I mean? Like I'm leaning and I no longer have a solid contact with the floor. So, so if this is the dance floor area, we are in the middle, right? And the dip is going this direction. At which point, I lose my balance. Lose my balance. But I lose my balance. I stumble once. I stumble twice. I hold it. No drop. No drop. And what could have been a disastrous story becomes a funny story. Diamond hands! Alright, hold on, let me... Am I going to start the bloody Overwatch, these people? All drip, no drop? Exactly. So... You were literally TU on a map fight. I mean, I don't know how it looked from the outside, but from a first-person perspective, it felt pretty scary at the time. It felt like we were going. I don't know how I stopped us falling, but instinct takes over, you know? Survival instincts. Preserve the marriage. Preserve the wedding. It looked scary as well, but it all worked out. All right, we're going in, so we'll swap over. But honestly, that was kind of the end of the story. Because then it's just drinks and fun and all of that, you know? When there's more photos available, I'll be sure to show a few more photos as well. Thank you, Ayua, for the 10 gifted as well. Just in time for the start of playoffs. But honestly, the next day, actually, because we had for Sunday, we went for a walk to Thor's Cave, lovely little scenic area. And then we had a barbecue, and then we went and played pool. Maybe after the first map, I'll tell you a bit more about the Sunday, but that was the wedding day. Just drinks and a good time, and all the closest people in our lives getting on and having a great time together. So really, couldn't have asked for a more perfect day with a more perfect group of people. Now, someone else hoping to have a perfect day with a perfect group of people is young Chrissy. Upper bracket of playoffs, winner qualifies to the Esports World Cup. Twilight is on Lucio. Twilight is dead. Not the perfect start, but remember, sometimes you can nearly drop something, but you can hold it at the last minute. Okay, Kai's got a counter pick, though. It's not over yet. Still in this one. They've lost control, but Heesung's very much separated here. Just get a bit more game volume here. Alright. So, Twilight's going to rack up, what is he, second death of Niz Gardens already. Does anyone still have Twilight on Fantasy? Because if you do, you need to grow up. Heesung is back on Widowmaker now. Not on Widowmaker, sorry, on Winston. Same difference. Amping it up, grouping up, ready to go again. In theory, Tracer, Winston, they should be able to hit this Baptiste quite a lot. The Simvo, but Lubza with an opening pick onto Kevza is going to stop TU right in their tracks. Can't go any more, and Ziad's going to take a bit of a step forward, and another kill. Lubza doesn't miss. And TU are thoroughly on the back foot right now, but they do have a Kitsune Rush coming back, meaning they can take this next fight very aggressively. Looking to walk back in. Find their timing. They want to land on top of Landon with this Kitsune Rush. If they can get the Kitsune Rush to go through the window, that'll be a really good position for them. Clearing a bit of space now, pocketing Heesung through, had to bubble early, there is the window, can they go through it? No, they just try and disengage, but Twilight is split but alive. Now the symbol comes through, Kitsune Rush on point to force the objective here from Sky, but he's awfully low. Ziad's got the kill through that Kitsune Rush. Twilight was split, remember, so no pocket available. And now Ziad is just hunting down these unpocketed targets. Kevza can't connect the Pulse Bomb. And it is all looking bad for TU right now. They have to jump back. One more fight, one more attempt for TU. They've got an overclock to start the fight, a beat to follow it up, but Lub's just gone first. They're going really early. They want to make the touch as hard as possible. Looking for Kevza. Kevza takes a body shot. He jukes underneath, but who's going to get the touch? Kevza gets shut down by Ziad. The beat comes through from Twilight, but the boop is good. Kellex plays defense, denies the touch, and it's 100-0 to Alcad in this first one. But we did get the beat off at least. Landon Kellex deathless. That's what I like to see. Landon's on my team. Don't let Landon die. All right, jump pad roll out here. It's true, off-brand milk. It's true. High ground with this Sim TP. Holding this one as TU look for their first engage. Heesung waiting for his timing, jumps up now, half HP, just over the top though. Once and over, they all jump onto Heesung though. They punish this jump. And really it was only Heesung going up by himself, so limited pressure from different angles. And Al could see it as soon as they see it. And they've cleaned this one up. Nice and easy, just punish for Winston, and TU a bit flat-footed here. Touch more game volume? Certainly can. Early bubble from Heesung just onto the Diva right now, but he's been cleared, and really TU, there just seems to be no punch here. Look at it, they're just getting beaten up. Heesung has to back jump. Twilight's going to duck behind cover. Kev's just forcing a point though. He's going to pull some people back. Now maybe TU can go forward. Kev's just getting marked on point, and TU are going to try and take the space as a result, but Landon nearly has this window ready to go. He's trying to mark for point and look forward. A body shot forces the lamp out of Landon now. This is the time for TU to go. They've nearly got the Kitsune Rush, but Landon is low on cooldowns. A TP away to safety to try and keep their backline okay. Ziad's going to continue to anchor point, but now TU, the Kitsune Rush, it's time to go. Defensive bubble from Heesung again. So many of these bubbles are just Heesung on the back foot rather than getting a chance to play aggressively, so they're going to have to slow it down, wait for that bubble, but Heesung is so low. Another back jump, and Lubda, the window, turbocharges that shot, takes down Sky immediately, and Heesung is on the run, and just, they can't get close to Landon right now. Easy cleanup. Thank you, Sukunch, for the prime. And this is just looking, it's just looking easy for Qadsiah at the moment. There's no danger, there's no peril. There's no threat onto Landon. Qadsiah now have all the ultimates to maybe close this one out, and we could be in a 200-0 situation. Twilight's going to have the beat, though, a chance to be more aggressive early. Overclock from Lubda, just pumping damage into him. Here comes the beat. Too little, too late. They do at least trade a kill. Kennex has the beat back, but they drop a symbol instead. Now the lamp is out. Pulse bomb flung from Kevster. Doesn't connect. He's going to try and force the point. The rest of TU are still trying to come forward. Kennex is going to take the 1v1. Oh, wait, Landon's with him as well, so it's a 1v2. Kevster's had his recall forced. He can keep touching for a while, but Qadsiah, they are slowing it down, and they have a beat push ready to go. Beat push comes through. Now, it doesn't catch checkmate, though. Has to be a little bit careful here. And actually, TU have kited a decent amount of this. They've lost Kai. Twilight's going to hit the boot back, but Sky and Twilight are alive. Valkyrie Lucio can regroup with their team on point. Well, kind of. Heesung's popped the primal and traded it, though, so TU not quite out of it yet, but they have to keep the point contested. Ziad is all over this backline, though. 2 backline kills for him as Heesung comes back to point. Needs to kill Nassim. Can't let Checkmate get to the TP, but he does get to the TP. Checkmate is just harassing him. Does get the D-Mech, actually, as Heesung goes deeper. All on Kai right now. Needs to hit every shot. Baby Diva's 1 HP. Deals with the Baby Diva. Kev's just got the touch taken over. TU not going down without a fight. Kai's going to swing back onto point. Pocket from his Lucio. The duel between Lubta and Kai. Kai's got him pinned in a corner, but he can't find the kill. Checkmate's trying to right-click spam his way out. They force him back. He TP's forward. He kills Kai. Checkmate nails the shot. And Qadsiah, they won't concede for flip. They won't concede for point. They'll 200-0 it. Checkmate with the crucial kill. Have I got the fancy stuff ready to go? Isn't that... Oh, that doesn't look good, does it? Let me close that. There we go. Where am I going? OWCS. Nope, not that one. OWCS, fancy OWCS. That's what I'm thinking of. Where am I going? Alright, here are the scores for anyone who's interested. Ziad, top scorer. Checkmate, decent as well. Lubda. Landon, 4.5, happy with that. Kennex, deathless, but doesn't actually score that highly. Neglected to change your fancy roster this stage. Good call, Max. Good call. Thank you, Kenzie. Glad to know my son did so well. Alright, how long do we have, do you think? Do you think I can squeeze in a quick Sunday story from the wedding? Because I don't think there's nothing to fucking analyse about that game, was there? Nothing to analyse about that. let's keep it a $1.50. Alright. Alright, predictions sorted. A quick Sunday. Alright, so wake up Sunday, a few people, obviously there were a few day guests and stuff, you know. Chrissy and his wife, only a day guest, obviously, because Chrissy had to rush back to, I think it was Frosttails they had to beat. So had to crush Frosttails quickly, but Chrissy was good for it, of course. So he goes and gets the job done. The rest of us, we wake up, we go for a little walk to Thor's Cave. We see some of the sights, beautiful views. Mikey A, who you might remember from Overwatch, Cloud9 player back in the day. So we climb up to the top of Thor's Cave. Then Mike goes and there's like another little rock hanging out onto a cliff. He goes onto the rock. His poor girlfriend. Mike, get back, Mike! Mike, don't be so close to the cliff. She's worried. But Mike, if you don't know, Mike is an experienced rock climber. You know, he does it a lot in his spare time. So don't worry about him. And then Mike, obviously, goes to walk away, you know, respects his girlfriend's concern. Walks away, but then obviously one of the guys shouts, "Do the griddy!" At which point he obviously griddies back towards the cliff. But you'll be pleased to know Mike survived his griddy on the cliff and lives to this day. So we do that, we see the Thor's Cave, people get in the cave, nice time. Dogs have a wicked time as well. Then we head back to have the barbecue. And again, it's mainly just a lot of drinks and a good time, really. We come back. One of the bridesmaids' husbands does the barbecue. I'm seeing this, Max. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So then we head back. One of the bridesmaids' husband does the barbecue, and he does an immaculate fucking job. Incredible quality of food coming out here. Costco providing the good food, and the cook was nailed as well. So absolutely perfect. And then, what time is it after the barbecue? It's time for drinks. But we've drunk all the beers. So we are having to get through the remaining spirits. So, the drink of choice, based on what we had left, was tequila with lime. Obviously, this wasn't going down great at a certain point, but then my mate Phil had a great idea. We can fix the taste of just tequila and lime by adding Malibu, and the Malibu will water it down. So we all had some tequila and Malibus. And it was honestly, it was much more palatable. We did have rum at one point as well, but we drank all the rum quite quickly. Then we go up to old Phil's room to to play pool. So we're all playing pool, various levels of skills. Meanwhile, remember where the pool room is, right? So we are playing pool here, in the bedroom over here across the hall. This is where Unter is coaching SSG's official from. So, same room upstairs. Then eventually, Unter joins the group. He's won! We all cheer! We celebrate SSG's mighty victory. And we all have a good time. So we're all playing pool, and some of us are better than others. I'm not that good. Mate Phil was probably the best. And then my dad, you remember my quiet, reserved, mild-mannered dad. He comes in and wants to play. And it's like, okay, yeah, not really a big drinker, all of that, but he wants to play pool. Wonder how good my old dad is. How good is he at pool? Because we're all a little bit wank, if we're being honest. My dad comes in, first shot, nails an absolute beauty, and the room loses its mind. No one was expecting this, and then my dad reveals that he won a few pool tournaments back in university, at which point we realise we're about to get rinsed here. So, class 1 there, and then we kind of just stay up and drink, you know? We have a good time. There's a few people have gone back because it's the Sunday, so it's mainly like a few of my friends, my family, a couple of my wife's family, and Unter, of course. So there's a couple of other stories from the day. I think Unter particularly enjoyed the moment where he was taught about the Last Samurai drinking game. But we'll lock in for the Overwatch for a little bit here. I don't know how much action we're going to see, but if there is a map that should favour TU, it should be this map. And Unter? Well, yeah, because Unter doesn't fit into any of the other groups. He is my friend. And honestly, Unter's now a friend with all my friends as well. Seems like TU are very much stuck in the spawn right now. You don't have to lie to them, Zavi. You know what I used to say, Max? I used to say, you can tell who's my actual friend in TF2, because all my actual friends in TF2 call me Zavi. And now you call me Zavi, you've made the cut. You've made the cut, mate. Peeking now out onto the high ground, TU trying to take a little bit of space, but Ziad is keeping that point anchored. What have you started, Max? What have you started? They clear Ziad off now, and the payload will start to roll forward. Finally, a bit of forward momentum for TU as they try and deepen it. Twilight's taking a lot of damage. And look at this aggressive swing from Lubs right now, rotating aggressively on this Cass. Can't find anything, though. We'll peek out main, looking for Kai, but Kai's going to rotate away. And Lubs a little bit caught in no man's land here. He turns back onto the Winston, but they've lost Landon. Kai's going to get punished on that slide, though, and Kedix and Lubs' adventure continues. Running around the high ground looking for kills, but the payload is still moving forward. Kevs now have a chance to go behind as Heesung jumps for high ground, but they're already far back. Qadsiah have successfully bought time for Landon to come back here. And they will have a window to use, but window quite difficult to use into this type comp matchup. TU have a lot of ults to throw at that window as well. They try and clear the high ground, but Heesung's back jump is good. Bubble onto it as well. Lupus is going to peek around that bubble. They break the bubble for him as well, but Lupus has got nothing to shoot at here. We'll just take the time that High Noon buys them and continue playing the high ground. But here comes Heesung. Primal available. Kitsune Rush to keep the push going. Twilight Fountain flicking onto Kellex. No beat response. It's going to be a symbol instead, but Checkmate is still low underneath. Heesung keeps going deeper. He's got the Primal Rage going now. He's stuck behind and he can't find anything. Looked like it should have been a good setup, but can't find the kills. But now the Captive Sun from Twilight to finish the job with a beat from Kellex for Downpour. They managed to get out of it, but no, not quite. Twilight falls, still pushing forward. They deal with the Winston, and TU threw everything at him. A Primal Rage, a Pulse Bomb, a Captive Sun, an Overclock, and only one kill to show for it. It's not enough, and TU are going to be reset. It looked like the door was open for him there. They kill Kellex before he gets the beat off. Then Heesung drops the Primal, but it just... They couldn't find anything with the Captive Sun, anything with the Primal. And now, TU only have one more fight. 35 seconds on the clock. No ults with which to work. They need someone to step up. Lubza playing aggressively on the high ground, looking for this early damage. Heesung lands on top of him, but he's taken a lot. They want to respond to him. They want to punish this Winston. Heesung's been forced back. Lubza is on the high ground, getting harassed by Kevster, but here is Kellex. Full pocket onto Lubza. He's on the low ground. There is a Sim TP available, but they're slowing it down a little bit now, T. They nearly have this Kitsune Rush. Clearing out Ziad, and Kevster's able to get the touch. Trying to play for this one. They need Sky to get that dive onto the backline. They need to kill Lubza. The TP onto the High Noon. He's going to TP back. Has he found Sky? He's killed Sky. The Kitsune Rush is not coming. The Primal Rage is not coming. The TP jukes him out. They find no kills. A late one from Kai, but it's not enough. And it's a full hold.
Score 0-0. Switching sides.
Oh dear. I mean, Chris did warn us at the start of the day that they were going to get 3-0'd. Which should have, in many ways, been our first clue that this fixture might not go too well. That was our first clue. No way he was being serious. No, Chris just tells it as it is, you know? Qadsiah emoting in spawn. And remember, as much as this doesn't really feel like too much of a competitive game, the stakes are real. The winner of this game qualifies for the Esports World Cup. Qadsiah seemed pretty happy about that situation. What does that guy know? It's a good point. Slingshot approaching maximum tension. There's still another map to give to get maximum tension. Sim Cass again from Qadsiah. Going to play to focus through the point here. It's Kiri Brig on the defense from TU. Heesung drops his initial bubble. Bit of farm, but not too much. They're going to get the payload underneath, and they 5-man rotate, and not all too much peril on that rotate as well. You think the Bap's life should be hard, and he's just going to get one shot as he drops down. Sources tell me they have a Korean Winston, but I'm yet to see any evidence with my eyes. They're going to drop down and keep forcing the point right now. And they're going to clean up all these kills behind for free as well. Heesung is coming back on Doom. Can they even touch? What is there to say? What is there to say? Do you want to see some numbers? I can show you some numbers. 0 jump, 1 die. Alright. Obviously, that was very quick, actually, so not a huge number of points for anyone. Checkmate gets the most on 5.5 and Lubda on 5. Yeah, this is the problem with Qadsiah, because I've got Landon in my team still, but they're just not scoring a lot of points because the maps are over so quickly. This is ugly. I mean, yeah. Like, it's not a, All right. So, where do they go now? Where do they go now? Oh, wait. Well, we've got a bit of downtime, because again, I don't know how much analysis this really is to make of that. Final bit of a wedding, then. Obviously, we have Sunday night, we have drinks. We stay up to about 3 a.m. drinking, you know. My friends teach Hunter all about the Last Samurai drinking game to play when you're on a long-haul flight somewhere. And I'm sure Hunter will give it a go. There he is. Hunter mentioned. Thank you, Fixter830254. Appreciate the prime. The drinking game. So the short version is, if you've watched The Last Samurai, basically for the first part of the film, you drink every time Tom Cruise drinks. And if you don't know, this isn't really a spoiler, but in the first part of the film, Tom Cruise is an alcoholic. So you can imagine how it goes. And then, once Tom Cruise starts learning to become a samurai, you take a drink every time Tom Cruise commits cultural appropriation. Have a go at the game yourself, and let me know. Let me know how you get on in the second half of the film. For The Last Samurai. Don't you die before the end? That's how you know it's a good drinking game. Thank you, Coffee Sip, for the tier 1 as well. Can I do whiskey shots to this? I wouldn't recommend it, DD. So then, yeah, we have a good night. We wrap up in the morning. We pack everything up. We had to clean the barn on Sunday as well, but everyone chipped in and it wasn't that trouble. We did it before we started drinking proper. We head back on Monday, and then obviously it's me, Max, and my wife. We get back into Nottingham. Hunter is we're gonna take Hunter to the train station a little bit later. By take, I mean we're gonna walk him. But before we leave Nottingham, and you might have heard this bit of a story already if you were here on Friday, but while in Nottingham, it'd be rude not to meet Kai, wouldn't it? While he's here, while you all happen to come all the way from Australia. So we go meet up for lunch with Kai. We go have a couple of pies with Kai. Hunter enjoys his pie with Kai. I enjoy my pie with Kai. I introduce Kai to my wife, and it's my first time to say, this is my wife. So Kai got to witness the debut of that one. And we take Hunter. Wait, I can show this picture, I think. Wait, I need to send it to Hunter first so I can download it. Hold on. We take Hunter to see the Robin Hood statue. Because what else would you do while you're in Nottingham, huh? Let's see, where is it? When did we go?
Dear sir, it gives me the utmost pleasure
Thank you, Quark.
out of respect, offer you my congratulations on your wedding, and I hope that it pays dividends in all of this. I hope that you remain as locked into marriage as you do to the Overwatch grind. I remain, Master Strange Quark Esquire.
Thank you, Quark. A lovely message. Alright, I've got 2 more photos I think I can show you. We have to be really quick, okay? Alright. Can we be quick? Can we be quick? So this is 2 handsome young men at the Robin Hood statue. You might recognize a few of them. The one in the middle is Robin Hood. It's not the best photo. I'll give you that. What? Don't question mark young. And of course, do you know what also happens when you have alpacas at your wedding at an animal sanctuary? What do alpacas like to do? Not all animals like to do? They like to fuck in the background, don't they? So I think there's a pretty good group photo of all our mates in front of the humping alpacas. Because we couldn't resist. The photographer, when we said, get a look at this, they're humping. So I think it's to come, but we're gonna get, well, poor choice of words. We're gonna get one of me and my TF2 mates group photos in front of the humping alpacas because the photographer sprinted over to get that picture. All right. Now, enough about humping alpacas. Let's go back to watching Qadsiah hump the ultimates here. It's going to be a sim ban from TU. Checkmate's been a menace for him. An absolute menace for him on this sim. But he's going to play Tracer now instead, and they have picked him, so I guess it's working. Hazard into the D.Va here as well. Pretty even matchup. They give away first flip though despite that pick. An invite to the game. We're already in the game, face it. Ziad's going to go too far. He gets picked off. And now a chance to come back in. The TU reverse sweep. It might start here. Checkmate has respawned and got a late kill though, so it's not the cleanest one in the end, but TU do have control of a point back. And they have this Kitsune rush. The slingshot. Is it starting to turn all of its tension into forward momentum? That's how the physics work, and it looks like it is! Kai with a pick onto Landon before the fight. TU take a step forward. Push him back to spawn, and Qadsiah, they're forced to reset. Landon is coming back with this window. Sky has the Kitsune rush though. They nearly have a beat. They can play this next fight aggressively. Beat advantage for Twilight. Who's the best Lucio now, Kellex? We'll revisit in a bit. Kitsune rush available for Sky. TU should play this one aggressively. They want to go through the window. Kitsune rushes drop. They try and disengage. They get round the corner. Lamp is forced. Window response. Kai gets one shot by Lifter coming through it. But Kevster's in. He's got betrayed. Sky's going as well. They double down. They go through the window. They get the kills. Suzu from Sky to keep going. Pulse Bomb is out. It's onto Heesung, but he blocks most of the damage. And TU, they're not just winning fights. They're winning the round. 100-0, no touch available.
Secured.
And TU are back.
Next flashpoint ruins.
Beat available now for both teams. Blade for Kevster as well here. So the classic setup here for TU would be use one ult to force the beat out of Kellex and the second ult to finish the job. So they can trade beats, then finish with Blade, or they can Blade early to force the beat. They Blade early, they force the beat comes off. Now Twilight has a bigger beat, but Sky dies. The beat comes back in anyway. They are trying to flood forward. Lufter is lamped though. The Downpour to keep chasing. The Downpour has locked him in. There's a defensive wall. Can they find the kills? Heesung and Kai find one apiece. Ziad is good for the trade, but there's still healing here, but it's only Lucio healing. It's all on Twilight to pocket his team. The point is unlocked, but everyone is caught up in this fight. Ziad is playing for the trades. The boop is good from Twilight. Kai and Heesung, they double in, but they find no kills. Checkmate shuts down both of them. Qadsiah will win this dogfight and take themselves over to point. Coming back, Kai has the overclock from this retake. Ziad has the self-destruct though, so can really use that self-destruct to basically, as a second life, really extend his uptime, marking this overclock as it comes through. Coming through the right-hand side right now, TU, trying to rotate. They amp through, clear a bit of space over to the right-hand side, and Qadsiah are going to pivot round to TU's side of point. The point 4 starts coming out with this wall. Bit of pressure onto the D.Va, but Ziad's going to use his full matrix. Disruptor shot comes through now as they continue to poke him out. Checkmate is in the back. Pulse Bomb is available, but wants to force for Suzu first. He's been forced back, actually. Overclock comes through. Checkmate in trouble, but Kai can't finish the kill. Still a bit of this overclock going, but has to be careful peeking the window. Ziad goes through aggressively. Self-destruct's available. Here's for self-destruct. Here's for Pulse Bomb. Heesung's doubling down for the kill. Kai shuts down Kellex. Checkmate will trade it back. Twilight is low. Sky has the Kitsune rush right now. It's 3 versus 2. Kevster and Heesung, we don't even need the Kitsune rush. Checkmate is trying to clutch it out. They're all so low, but Checkmate can't find the kill. Sky's going to start passively regenning soon as well. More pressure on. Heesung is still 1 HP. The pocket's coming through now. Checkmate 3 seconds away from a recall. Gets to the mini, and Qadsiah, they will be able to recontest this one. They haven't got the flip yet, T, but they have double support ult coming right up. Checkmate fighting out with Kevster on the flank, makes an aggressive move through. Twilight tries to mark that one. Lots of pressure on Twilight, 99%. Kitsune runs forwards. Twilight goes for the beat, catches everyone. Behind him still there. Kevster's walking on. Heesung's coming. Deflect is good. Kevster shuts him down. They deal with that. It cost them both support ults though. And remember, TU didn't get the flip at any point during that. So they had to spend double support ult there just to flip the point and keep themselves alive. They did need the beat ultimately. really, so I don't think it was a bad beat. It's just a shame that they needed the beat rather than getting that initial value out of Qadsiah Rush. Now they're attempting to hold close. Downpour nearly available for Heesung and a Blade very soon for Qadsiah, but Checkmate is pulling TU back right now with some point pressure. That allows Qadsiah a little bit of space, a chance to build up this last bit of a beat, but there is a window for Qadsiah if they go aggressively here. Ziad's going to fly onto him. They can clear Ziad and maybe go. Qadsiah has the Blade ready. Half HP right now, getting topped up. Looking for his opportunity. Flashbang in as well. Defensive wall and everything comes out. And Ziad's on the backline, but Downpour has been thrown out. Have they found anything? Yes, it's forced a lamp, but only a lamp. Kai is dead. Qadsiah is behind. Is he going to go for the Blade? He chooses to hold it. Doesn't commit to that one here. I think he was maybe worried if they had beat. Worried they wouldn't have enough. Couldn't find the opening to go near TU, but there was a window. I think they must... They were playing like they thought they already had... Like, they thought Kellex already had beat, I think. So I think they were maybe just slightly early on that call. Don't commit any of the ults there. And now Qadsiah, not only do they win that fight, but they actually don't even have anything forced out of them. So Qadsiah have a 5 bank here. Thank you, now AFK Noob, for the 5 months prime. Lamp is forced early. Defensive beat now from Kellex. Tries to keep everyone alive. Should be good for it as well. Checkmate's had his recall force, but they have killed Heesung during all of that. Now they can keep walking forward. Landon will dash back towards his team. Exploiting that extra movement the Baps perk gives him. All the way back now. TU are about to equalize the ult economy a little bit here with their support ults coming up again. Move back towards point, and Landon has shifted already here. TU looking to make an aggressive move. They can start with Overclock if they want. No, they can start with Blade instead. All over it. One comes through. Deflect is out. Window is there. Trying to dash through behind him. Kevster trades for kill 1 for 1. Kyan over top, but Kev's just got out. It's a dogfight now, but TU are so low they don't have their supports. Was that an Ajax? Hold on, we'll get an action replay. It's short. He's 3 bars of HP. Where even is he? Yeah, Checkmate's just killed him in the back. A classic Vega moment. And a disaster for TU, because if that beat goes off, they crush that fight, right? They don't. No one gets traded to the high noon. But Twilight, like, he cast it as soon as he could, but he was getting mowed down as it happens. And Qadsiah claim a significant advantage onto this point. Kitsune Rush available now. Sky, not found a huge amount of value with these so far. They struggle to find the aggressive plays they want. Really needs to try and get it underneath Landon. They want to hunt him down with this one. Early pressure comes on. They have to get Kitsune Rush really early, just in the back corner here. Checkmate's going to throw a lob a bomb into that room, but doesn't manage to stick onto anyone. And TU burst out now looking for kills, but they've lost Twilight on the way. They flip towards point. Overclock is being used now. Zia's still got a lot of Matrix left, though, here, and Kai is just getting hunted down. Overclock, 0 value. And now, all of a sudden, it's a dogfight here, trying to claim onto it. Heesung's still got a wall available. Qadsiah are a little bit beaten up here. Heesung can tap this for a while still, has a little bit of block, dashes in, looks for the kill onto Landon, but can't find it. Does force for Lamp. Kevster comes through as well. Ziad is so low, but the Lamp does so much for Qadsiah in the end. And they take the lead.
Next, flashpoint.
TU struggling. Remember, Qadsiah are now 1 round away from qualifying for the Esports World Cup. They're going to have a window and a beat very soon to help convert in this first fight as well. And TU are clinging on. If the slingshot wasn't tight enough before, it's tight now. It can't go any further back. Landon's got the window on the high ground, but they actually want to rotate away from him here. Lupta and Landon goes different ways for a second, but they group up now. Landon seems to be... I think he seems okay. Now Ziad's going to put some pressure on. The window comes out here just to pocket Ziad more than anything. TU are able to de-peek as well. Everyone on TU was able to de-peek except for Heesung. Heesung was stuck in. He gets 1 shot. Now they are getting forced all the way back. Kevster finds a trade, though. Any trade will be decent value, but it's only 1. The Lamp comes through in the end to prevent any more. Shibal indeed. Qadsiah, 4 ults to finish the job here, potentially.
Beat Blade coming back in. Again, we need to do maybe a bit of a 1-2 punch thing here. Try and force Kelix's beat out early. Last time TU were in this situation, they bladed early to force the beat. But this time, they're going to beat first instead. It's pretty early. Behind him comes out. They are trying to go all the way across. Defensive beat from Kelix. So behind him can be held. But Lupta shoots himself again. He won't stop shooting himself in the face, Lupta. And the opening pick for Beat Blade works. Self-destruct on point right now. They all try and D-peek, looking for the remake. Pulse Bomb is good from Checkers in the back. He's traded out Kai. They're not done with this one yet. Qadsiah as Twilight have died. Sky nearly has the Kitsune Rush. They really don't want to have to use this one to the clutch, but they can't afford to lose it. They don't get the Kitsune Rush off. They're trusting Heesung and Kevster to deal with it, but Kevster's fallen. It's just Heesung. It's just over. Qadsiah are going to the Esports World Cup. And TU, as predicted by their coach, is going into the lower bracket. Should we look at some points if we can bear to do it? Wow, that was fast. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Final map. -2 for Lupta. Checkmate. Checkmate's actually the big winner here, right? 5 for Landon. Total scores here, 17.5 for Checkmate. Thank you, Woody, to 33. Welcome back, pal. Landon with 12, so happy with that. Ziad's got a solid 14. Lupta with 6. Kelix with 5.5. Before Heesung, it was KSA and Chase Torch. -6.5 for Kai. -9 for Twilight. For Twisio. Not pretty. Not pretty. -2, he shot himself twice. Yeah. I think looking at the new chat module. Hold on. Let me grab a drink because that series was over so quickly and we're locking in for the big one. So I need more Diet Coke. I need to lock back in. I'll cut the VOD and everything as well. Since I don't really know how much interest there will be in that. In this VOD. I don't know what there really is to talk about, but yeah, okay.